is Tegule, and I'm honored and humbled to be taking you through the motions tonight here. We're going to have welcome remarks that will be given by Norman, and then we shall have remarks from Madam, that's Ms. Sarah Kanyeihamba, and then we shall also have something from Tabitha. Briefly, we'll talk about five-minute portions, and then there will be someone I think you might know very well, Dr. Miriam Atembe. She'll be here with us. She'll be speaking to us as well. And then the Deputy Chief Justice will come in also for a brief address. And then we have Honorable Dr. Keddi Stephen, President of the Keddi Foundation, here with us. Who'll be here with us as well. Who'll be speaking to us briefly. And then we shall have an engagement. Talk about the angel, and she appears. So I'm happy to announce that the person I've just been talking about has arrived. So if you know her, you'll clap for her, please. Dr. Miriam Atembe, we are happy and humbled to have you here. She's already warning somebody. If you've dealt with Honorable Miriam Atembe, then you'll know that from time to time she'll warn you to be in line, or else. We're humbled to have you, Dr. Matembe. I hope that you feel at home. I've just been talking about you. I said we're expecting you here. And so I'm happy that you have proved me right. Otherwise, I would have had time to explain. You know she's on the way. You know Kampala traffic jams. So thank you for being here in good time. We're just a little behind schedule. I'd explained that the Deputy Chief Justice and the Minister of Justice and the Supreme Court Justice, Honorable Bamgemerere, they're on their way, but they're at the same place, finishing up something, but they've promised to be with us in the next 20 minutes, which is maybe 15 left by now. So we shall be having an engagement with the audience, and that will be a very important time. A foundation of this character means that we shall be wanting to hear from those who would like to give unto the foundation. What is their contribution? What is their muchango? They also hear what I kita muchango. What muchango are they making to this cause? We shall be hearing from each of them, and then we shall be then having the formal launch of the foundation that will be presided over by Honorable Norbert Mao, the Minister of Justice. And then we shall be having a little bite, and then we can depart at leisure. After, of course, shaking hands, moving around, getting to know this one and that one, and then we shall be good to go. But at this moment, like I said, this is going to be a very brief program, so we may not get enough time to know each other. So may I request this mic to move around, maybe from the back. Help me move this mic around from the back. Just tell us where you're coming from, so that we just get to know who's here with us. Just work it from the back, coming forwards, and then we get to know who we are with in this hall. We're here, like I said, to launch the Kanyeihamba Foundation. A foundation means it's a charitable organization. It has noble aims and objectives. It wants to have social causes. It wants to add value to the society, and that is why we're here. So you can talk to us. Who are you? Where you coming from? And then we get to know you better. From the back, who do you have on that table, my dear?
Hello. Good morning, members. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I am Engineer Senja Kodafala from Kawempe, next MP Kawempe South, and I am from Keddi Foundation. Thank you for coming.
Okay, thank you, Engineer Dafala. We're happy to receive you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mayanja Robert. I work with Sala Kanyike Foundation. I am inspired by the Professor George Kanyeihamba.
Welcome aboard. And Engineer Dafala, best wishes for your campaign. Hope that you succeed. By the way, this is how, let me just tell you, just a moment, you know, this is how God used to talk. What's this young man? Sagininya Muhammad. when I was doing radio at that time, some years ago, and he would introduce himself. He would call in every time I was on air and would say, I'm Segirinnya Muhammad, MP to be Kawempe North. And at that time, I'm sure some people thought he was joking. But now you look back and you're like, okay, this boy was serious. I have a lot of respect for Segirinnya. May God heal him quickly. But he began with determination. You knew he was determined to get there. And he eventually got there. So, Engineer Dafala, I salute you. Best wishes for your campaign. Hope that everything works well in Kawempe South. Who do you have on the next table?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Odaka Asman is my name. I'm the Secretary General of National Economic Empowerment Dialogue, NEED. I bring you greetings from President Joseph Kabuleta.
Great, thank you very much. We're happy to hear from NEED and also liaise with you. Yes, next table.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
And why are you alone at your tables, your people? There's one table there alone, and then you're alone, then this one is alone. But that can be negotiated. Yes, talk to us, lady.
Yes, Komjuni Christo is my name. I'm a lawyer I'm an advocate with Lubegan Company Advocates. I'm from Entebbe.
Entebbe.
Yes.
Welcome aboard. Happy to have you. Next table, please.
Good morning to you all. I am Kamya Sophia, a student at Kampala International University and pursuing a bachelor's degree in law. Thank you.
You want to cause trouble for people? Yes or no? No. No. But we shall be discussing that. Yes, lady.
Good morning, everyone. Murungi Natasha Letisha is my name, a second-year law student at Kampala International University.
And you're supposed to be doing exams, by the way, at KIU. Or did I hear wrongly? Because I think I have a kid there I thought was supposed to be doing exams. But welcome aboard and best wishes as you write your exams. At that level, we call them tests. But no worries, you'll find the real exams. You know where you'll find the real exams. At that level, we call them tests. When exam time comes, please give me a call and say, now we are facing the real exams. You know what I'm talking about. But hello, next table.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
I'm Counsel Achebo Sheila from Otto Edward and Company Advocates.
From?
Otto Edward and Company Advocates. I'm glad to be here.
Okay, welcome aboard.
Protocol observed. Adeke Maryjoy is my name, a lawyer. Thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Kakuru Tumsime. I'm a lawyer with Banturachi and Company Advocates, and I'm also a member of the Kanyeihamba Foundation.
Welcome aboard.
Yes. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Innocent Ainebion.
Let me guess, you're also a lawyer.
I'm a lawyer at Foundation for Human Rights Initiative in Zambia.
We have too many lawyers in this place.
Yes, and I'm a member of Kanyeihamba Foundation. Thanks for coming.
Okay, I think we need to diversify a little bit, but yes, sir.
Let's diversify, I think. My name is Edgar Matthew Karuhanga. I am a journalist with Debunk Media.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
A journalist with who?
Yes, I'm a journalist with Digitalk TV, but I'm also a co-founder at Debunk Media Initiative. What we do is we are fact checkers. We verify information in the public domain. Happy to be here.
Okay, were you also among those who were arrested last time in the other Chikwekweto?
I'm a lucky man. I was the only one that survived.
Where are those who got arrested? We might want to hear your experiences. What actually went on after you got arrested? But, well, let's hear from the next table.
Good morning, everyone. Ndagire Lillian Rovins is my name, an advocate working with Lufunya Associated Advocates, aspiring member of parliament, Busiro South.
Busiro South. You want to dislodge who?
It's called Honorable Matov Charles.
Ah, okay. Where is Segona, by the way? That is Busiro East.
Busiro East.
Why don't you just transfer to Busiro East and we have a real fight?
No, I feel the one in Busiro East is representing well, and there is a gap in Busiro South.
Ah, okay. You just won your case. Yes, Nyawo.
Good morning, everyone. Nanjobe Christine is my name. I'm a law student at Kampala International University. And
Okay,
I'm here
welcome
to be
aboard.
here.
Happy to have you as well.
I'm Wande Antone. I am one advocate of the High Court. I practice with Inselecom Kalazi and company advocates. Just Kanyeihamba is the reason some of us are. I've read extensively. I'm actually one of his scholars, especially in constitutional history. Recently, my brother Norman was looking for one of the rarest copies of his books and happened to have it. He had searched all over the place and he couldn't find one. So we are very glad to be here.
Okay, great. Welcome aboard. Happy to have you on board.
Hello and good morning.
Morning.
I'm Janet Mukoya Nyaribi. I am a youth that is working with Youth Line Forum.
You're definitely a youth. We can tell by looking at you that you're definitely a youth.
Yes, and it's a pleasure to be in such a space, learning from our elderly who have been an inspiration to the nation. So I am happy and pleased to meet everyone here. Thank you.
Great, welcome aboard. Where is the mic going next? Is this table complete? Not yet.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ajata Bithachol. I'm not a student. I'm going to graduate next month. I'm a writer, the author of this book, The Woman of Kush, My Country in War and Peace.
The woman of what?
The Woman of Kush.
First bring what you see. Need to, as you continue.
Yes, and Professor helped me in publishing this book. He wrote a foreword for me, and he's been a very good mentor to me. I'm also a Pan-Africanist, and I will graduate as a diplomat.
Okay, congratulations. So you're Aja Tabitha. You're from South Sudan. Ah, interesting. The Woman of Kush, My Country in War and Peace. Very interesting. Is it out already, or these are advanced copies? Is it on the on the shelves already in the supermarkets and stuff? Everywhere, like MTN. Wonderful. Congratulations. And where do we get a copy? Nearest bookshop or what? Oh, the copies are available here. So Yekubi Dakalango. You please pass by the table there and pick a copy. At how much?
It's at 50K.
Sorry?
It's at 50K.
50K, not so bad.
But if you're a big man, there has to go beyond that.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Lumbe Alex is my name. I'm a student of KIU waiting to graduate.
Okay.
Practical observed. Good morning, everyone. My name is Simon Peter Emmerjong. I'm a student pursuing a bachelor's in journalism and media studies from Kampala International University. I'm so inspired by people who've walked the journey, have done it, and that's why I'm so happy to be part of this audience and to learn and, have a takeaway with me. So I'm so pleased to be here. Thank you, everyone.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Emojong. Happy to receive you as well. Yes, sir.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Abraham Rith Malwal. I'm a law student at Kampala International University, currently in my third year, and a great admirer of Professor George William Kanyeihamba. And I'm very happy to be here today. Thank you.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. I'm by the names Opeitum Filbert, but preferably I like to be called Ope. I come from a district called Uganda, from a country known as Africa. I'm a patriot and a Pan-Africanist. Thank you.
Okay, welcome, sir.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Barak Nayebare. I come from the Professor Piero Lumumba Foundation and work as the Executive Secretary.
Welcome, sir.
Yes, good morning, everyone. I am called Kato Tumsime. I'm a lawyer and practicing advocate. Good to be part of you.
Welcome aboard. The other table there.
Good morning. Pius Chamber is my name. The Law Society President, Kampala International University, and a member of Kanyeihamba and Company Advocates, a firm we have at Kampala International University. Thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Praise Jesus.
Amen.
My name is Lieutenant Emmanuel Okubu. I work with UPDF and legal officer. Been inspired by Kanyeihamba, and that's why I'm here. Thank you very much.
Welcome aboard.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Atamba Anthony, a law student, KIU. I see the majority here are the young people and the youth. Allow me make you remember that we are the next generation. Thank you.
To do what? To do what? Next generation to do what? I hope you're not. I hope you're not going treasonous, young man, because if you mention certain things, then you just might be. You just might be. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. For record, my name is Livingston Muhoozi, and I am the managing partner for Kanyeihamba and Company Advocates, a foundational firm we have at KIU, and I have just completed my bachelor's degree in law, and I'm waiting on my graduation. Thank you so much, and I'm happy to be here.
Great, and best wishes for your career path.
Good morning. My name is Ochola Kenneth, a third-year law student at Kampala International University. I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you. Good morning to each and everyone here. My name is Kivuna Frank, a law student at Kampala International University and a member of Kanyeihamba and Company Advocates. I'm glad to be here.
Okay, great. Do you have a certificate of approval of chambers for that law firm? No, it was just a rhetorical question. Please, let's go to the next table.
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure meeting you all. My name is Shamsa Sebagala, and I work with the Keddi Foundation.
Welcome aboard.
Yes. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Happiness Tkamsima, an aspiring member of Parliament, Chak Central, and a member of Keddi Foundation.
Welcome aboard.
Council, don't get too worried to reintroduce again.
This is not campaign time, young man.
Yes, no.
We had you the first time.
Yes.
But it seems you have begun even campaigning.
You know, by the time I introduced myself, I was the advancing person. I was the advancing person for the Keddi Foundation. But now, as the team has arrived, it was also my next opportunity to reintroduce myself.
Okay.
I'm Engineer Senja Kodafala, Kawempe South MP. Very glad to be here with the team. I'm very inspired by Honorable Norman Tumuimbise, and I have told him before that it's very rare to be relevant in the struggle of Uganda for almost more than 10 years. So we thank him so much. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam.
God is good. Bakuba Sulaiman Chigozi Sebagala, MP2B Kawempe North, a member Keddi Foundation. Thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Good morning, everybody. I am Charles Matasa Kafero, the next president of the Republic of Uganda.
Our Bugalo is in order. We want ambition in this room.
Thank you.
This is a place for ambitious people. We want ambition in this room. Yes, sir. Mr. President.
Yes, I'm here, sir.
Talk to me.
I am the president of Keddi Foundation, and I am the president of a new political party in Uganda called the Revolutionary People's Party, RPP. And I am an advocate of good education and governance. I am an advocate of rule of law, of course. I have had a lot of lawyers here, young and old, in your different capacities. I will work with you because I love lawyers so much. You know how to interpret the Constitution and make peace and harmony and equality in a nation. Without that, of course, there is no progress in
Mr. President, the campaign time has not yet started.
It has not started,
but we appreciate the preamble to the campaign period.
Thank you very much. I love you. I love you, everybody. And I want also to send this special message to my good friend, my good brother for a long time, Mr. Honorable Norman Tumuyimbise. No, Honorable Norman Tumuyimbise is a great man. If he was not stolen some long time ago, he was supposed to be, the MP of my constituency, Bukoto Midwest in Iruengo. But because of, electoral commissions and fairness, when it comes, they don't know how to count very well. So they miscounted his votes and finally did not make it. But I love you so much. And Mr. Norman, thank you for loving the young people of Uganda, and thank you for loving Justice Kanyeihamba. My good friend Farida, we love you so much. Mulongo Kato, I love you, all of you. The alternative movement, you are the best movement in this country, and we love you so much. God bless you.
Akaliba Akendo. Ukalabira kumukon. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. My name is Esther Heather, and I work with the Keddi Foundation.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning, everyone. My name is Mobiru Burhan, and I work with Keddi Foundation.
Okay. Let me close with this. I think we have one more table here, and then we close the round of introductions. The others will be strategically introduced.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kalisa David from Buziga, and I'm a member of Kanyeihamba Foundation.
Okay.
My name is Betty Nabitosi. I stay with Professor Kanyeihamba, and I'm his adopted daughter.
Welcome aboard. Okay, welcome.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum assalam.
My name is Sheikh Abdullah Rubega Biboire Ushombe Kakoma Gajita Kuchibi Seka Wabagaga mu Kampala ngandi county Seka Kampala okubalu kumwenda nkaga mu mukaaga n'okutuusa kati. Professor Kanyeihamba lirana wange ate mukadde wange mwebali kujja. Beera Buziga wali ekiruddu Buziga.
Sheka tusanyusa okulaba. Welcome aboard. Tusanyusa amanyi olina mangi n'ebitiibwa bingi ne tukwaza nti ofunye akadde akabeera naffe. No, let's move to this table. We don't take that for granted. That table will be, for strategic reasons, quiet for now. But I'll get the first two on this table, and then we'll take it there. The first two on this table. Then we shall close the introductions.
Hello, everyone. My name is Erin Mirembe, and I'm from Thomas and Michael Advocates. Thank you.
Matoviane Ngoma from Isinju, and I'm with my young man here.
That one, we'll let him keep quiet. Tuidakuma nampola mpola. We shall see what we can do. So kompakazinda ko and dakagamamu mpola mpola mungeri yange. So once again, allow me to say a very good morning to you all and warm welcome to the launch of the Kanyeihamba Foundation here at Imperial Royal Hotel. My name is Gawaya Tegule, and I'm honored and humbled to be your master of ceremonies as we go through a very historical event. We are creating history today. We are and possibly as well for many people here and for those to come, rewriting history. So today is a day we shall not take for granted. Allow me at this moment to take you through the program. Arrival of guests is done with. We have had round of introductions. Now we are going to have welcome or opening remarks in the next 1 minute, given to us by Norman, whom we've been talking about all along. Then we shall hear from Ms. Sarah Kanyeihamba for about 5 minutes. We shall hear from Tabitha, 5 minutes there. Then we shall hear from a person that needs no introduction here, Dr. Miriam Matembe, already in the house. She has 10 minutes. Then we shall hear from the man himself, Professor G.W. Kanyeihamba, the man whose legacy this foundation, part of whose legacy this foundation is. He will be speaking to us electronically for obvious reasons, but we shall be here, happy to get him online, and you'll be seeing him as he speaks to us direct. Then we shall be hearing from the Deputy Chief Justice, who has sent a representative, and then we shall go to the President Keddi Foundation, and we shall hear from them there, and then the audience will be opened up to. And then, like I said, the Minister of Justice will be here to round this up and then declare the foundation formally launched, at which point we shall have free interaction, we shall grab a bite, and then depart at leisure. But first, I have been asked to welcome Sheikh Lubega, just to open with a word of prayer. Sheikh, Professor Kanyeihamba yasabye enti gwe gwabajja okutuwa sala egulawo mukolo guno era mubwetowaza obungi nzikiriza nsaba ozikirize okwaniriza wano ojje ogulewo omukolo guno ne sala leero lwakutaano tekigenda tukola bubi nnyo okulaba nti seeka ku lwokutaano yazze okutuwa sala egulawo omukolo guno officially. So nkwaniza wano seeka nga bwe tumuwa obugalo ajje atuwe sala ey'omwanguka ejja okugulawo omukolo guno. Akazindalo kaffe tukaterezemu awo mpola mpola.
Bakadi assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Basaba tubeera happy nnyo era ekigambo ky'okwewembeka nga tusabira mukadde waffe Professor Kanyeihamba akoze ebirungi ebingi mu nsi muno nga bimulaba. Allah amwongere omumusuusa nga tetunaba kubeera tukola ekirala kyonna. Olunaku luno olwa Friday luliko ebintu bingi nnyo Katonda bye yaluteekako. N'olwekyo olunaku luno olw'okuba nga lukulu ate Allah lwatusobozesezza okujja Kanyeihamba Foundation wano olwaleero. N'olwaleero ngenda okutandika okugulawo. Bategeezezza nti teri kikulu nga kusaba Katonda. N'olwekyo mwena mbasaba tubeera happy eri Katonda waffe nga tumanyi asusse muganda waffe mukadde waffe mukwano waffe Professor Kanyeihamba. Ngenda kutandika mufunze tutandika okusaba nga tugulawo ne surati Yasin. Niyatul kubila safi an-nabiy nur Muhammad al-Mustafa muqtar sallallahu alayhi wa sallam al-Fatiha sunna alhamdu. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta alayhim ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Amin. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Salamun qawlan min Rabbir Rahim. Salamun qawlan min Rabbir Rahim. Salamun qawlan min Rabbir Rahim. وامتازوا اليوم أيها المجرمون ألم أهد إليكم يا بني آدم لا تعبدوا الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين وأن اعبدوني هذا الصراط المستقيم ولقد أضل منكم جبلا كثيرا فلتذكرون هذه التي كنتم توعدون اصلوها اليوم بما كنتم تكفرون اليوم نختم على أفواههم وتكلمنا أيديهم وتشهد أرجلهم بما كانوا يكسبون ولو نشاء لو سخنا على مكانتهم فما استطاعوا مضي ولا يرجعون وما نعمر نكسه في الخلق فلا يذكرون وما علمنا شيء ولا ذكر وقرآن مبين لينزل من كان حيا ويحك الكون على الكافرين أو الإنسان أنا خلقنا من نطفة إذا هو خصم مبين وضرب لنا مثلا ونسي خلقه قال من يحيي العظام هي رميم قل يحيي الذي أنشاها أول مرة وهو بكل خلق عليم الذي جعل لكم من الشجر الأخضر نارا فإذا توقدون أوليس الذي خلق السماوات والأرض بقادر على أن يخلق مثل بلاء وهو الخلاق العليم إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون فسبحان الذي بيده وإليه الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذ سنة ولا النوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وشاء كرسي السماوات والأرض ولا وهو العلي العظيم لا نفذ كتب فرش من فمن يكفر بالطاغوت فقد استكبر الانقسام لها الله السميع العليم قل اللهم مالك الملك تؤتي ملك من تشاء وتعز من تشاء بيدك الخير انك على كل شيء قدير تولج الليل في النهار تولج النهار في الليل تخرج الحي من الميت وترزق ما تشاء بغير حساب لقد جاءكم رسول من انفسكم عزيز عليكم ان انتم حريص عليكم بالمؤمنين رؤوف رحيم فإن تولوا فقل حسبي الله لا إله إلا هو عليه توكلت وهو رب العرش العظيم أي مكبكتنا متزوج الناس تزون رم كدوا Kanyeihamba ngagura ukamchukurumiri wabantu badne okwagala n'okulungi n'okolagana okulungi tukwebaza mukama katono omwoyo omulungi gwomuwa okubeera ng'alumirirwa abantu banne n'abeera omulamuzi omutuufu n'abeera omuntu alina adira obwenkanya sa mukama ebirungi byonna bimusasule twebaza mukama katonda abaddewo bano n'abaza nabo abaze ku mukolo guno gw'olwaleero nga tujjawo Kanyeihamba Foundation okubeera nga bazze tubeere nga tulabe ng'ekibiina kyengeri ekinatambulamu tusaba mukama katonda abantu bano babeere abeesigwa babeere abeesimbu batuukirize ebyo byonna Profesa Kanyeihamba byagala bitambule kubanga yagadde tukikonaga ne bwe ndibeera omulwadde tuseeka okubeera nga tubeera ne tusisinkana ne tuggulawo ekibiina kye saba mukama katonda abantu bano baleme kukyuka oluvannyuma lw'okubeera nti abadde tali naffe bakole ebyabadde ayagala mu dduniya muno n'okutuukiza okuyamba bannaffe abanaku tusaba mukama katonda buli omu omusasula ebirungi byerere saba mukama katonda olukuŋŋaano lwaffe luno lubeere olw'omukisa lubeere olw'omuwendo okujjukira Profesa okubeera kwotegeera okw'amaanyi nga bwe yamu okubeera Profesa saba mukama gwomukozi w'eggulu nsi gwe mwawula n'omuwa amagezi ag'enkebe n'abeera nga yeetegeerera ate n'atabeera mu bonnanfuusi tusaba mukama katonda abantu bazze wano buli kigenda okwogera kibeere nga kiri ku mitima gyaffe ekigenda okuyimizaawo n'okutambula nga tujjuukirako Profesa Kanyeihamba tusaba mukama katonda obeere ng'omusuusa adde abikole nga babadde akola tumanyi tajja kubeera n'amaanyi gali gabadde alimu naye tusigale nga tufunamu amagezi ge gabadde atuwa kubanga akoze ebintu bingi mu ggwanga muno n'abeera nga wandiika n'ebitabo bino bingi ebisobola okubeera nga bimujjuukirwako nga tumaliriza mukama katonda gubatubira bannabbi batujjukiza ebintu gye tunayita mu nsi eno enzibu eti erimu abantu abatakyabeera beesigwa naye tulekisa obutaba bantu abatalina bwesigwa kubanga mukama katonda tuwa ensi eno tugikole tugikulaakulanye nga tulina obwesigwa nga twagalana nga tusaasiragana nga tukola ebikuza ensi yaffe eno Uganda ebeere nga ya mirembe Kanyeihamba Foundation tujeggodde olwaleero nga tugamba te mukama katonda gw'oboja emiriro gikulembera olwabaddewo bano ababitiibwa abazze wano ne babeera nga ekibaleese kutereeza mugendo gwono gwe yayagala naffe mukama katonda tusaba obeere nga otuwa ebbaraka emikisa n'okussa ekimu tuleme kukonagana na nsi eno gye tujja okulekawo tumanye nti mukama katonda bintu byakola mu nsi era byagenda okusisiŋŋana mu maaso go nga bwamuteekako bamalayika abawandiika buli kyakola kyonna ayi mukama katonda tukusaba otuwa okussa obumu okukolaganira wamu okwagalana tubeere nga tumanya nti buli kyokola kyosiga kyojja okukungula ayi mukama katonda kkiriza okusaba kwaffe rabbana takabbal minna innaka anta samiul alim watubu alaina ya maulana innaka anta tawwabur rahim rabbana zalamna anfusana wa in lam taghfir lana wa tarhamna la nakunanna minal khasirin rabbi habl hukma wal hikma bis salihin وجل سنة ست في الآخرين وجن ميراثته جنة النعيم غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير katonda tuwa obulungi bw'ensi eno otuwe n'enkonomi yaffe ebeere ennungi yongera okutuwa okubeera nga tumalirira buli kye tukola nga tuli mbunanfuusi subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifuna wasalaamu ala almursalina alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuhu.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Twanza nnyo Seeka, tumukubire obugalo Seeka. Allow me without further ado at this moment to welcome, we have a high table here. Allow me with humility to welcome a few people up here. Dr. Miriam Matembe, allow me with humility to welcome you up here, please. Great. And allow me also with humility to welcome General Masiko to take the podium. Please come up. Just make yourself comfortable here. Maybe extra end. Allow me also to, with humility, welcome the Honorable Dr. Keddi Stephen to take the podium. At this moment, ladies and gentlemen, I want to just remind you that our time here is going to be very short. We basically want to have the foundation formally launched. But first, a few remarks from a few people. Allow me, therefore, to welcome with humility the architect of today, who has led the team that has been spearheading first of all, the formation of the foundation, its progress, and those and the ones who have designed this program. Mr. Norman Muhimbise, please come forward and speak to us briefly. Warm hand clap as he takes the podium.
Yeah, sure. I was almost getting off our DNA of testing the microphone on whether it is working or otherwise. Not quite often that we get opportunities like this to convene great men and women of honor. It is for that reason that I want to thank God once again for having given us this opportunity to convene great men and women of honor, but also ask you, because for purposes of saving time, that I ride on the protocol as mentioned inter alia and salute you all. My name is Norman Tumhimbise, and I happen to be the director of Kanyeihamba Foundation, a foundation that was founded by Professor Kanyeihamba and many others for purposes of promoting the entire dream for which he has for this country. Precisely, I will ask that I share with you a very brief story of a gentleman who was born in 1911 in the UK by the names of Reverend Dr. Edward Chad. This gentleman, Edward Chad, was born in the UK in 1911. And by 1935, he was simply 24 years. So he was invited to preside over a burial ceremony of a young girl aged 14 years. This young girl had been allocated, her body had been allocated to the unsecreted burial grave. So he asked his ADs, and the reason for which this young girl was pushed away to the extreme end of the yard. The gentleman next to him told him that the young girl had committed suicide at simply 14 years. He asked, why did the young girl commit suicide? They answered to him that the young girl had faced her first menstruation, and therefore she considered her blood as something that was unhealthy and shameful. Sadly, the young girl of 14 years did not have anyone to share the story with, so she committed suicide. You know what Reverend Chad did? She looked deep in the grave and said, young girl, I did not know you, but you have changed my life. I will start a foundation. And by 1935, he had the dream to start a foundation, which initially started on 11th November 1953. To achieve two things, he set up a toll-free call center that every person who had suicidal dreams and mind could call, and someone at least listens to them. But most importantly, his foundation initiated the education of reproductive health in every school in UK. Apparently, his foundation has 20,000 volunteers. I'm sharing this story so that we know the purpose for which foundations are formed. That every foundation has a purpose. So you have heard how Reverend Chad started a foundation. Those of you who have been in UK, the foundation is called the Samaritans, nicknamed as the Befrienders in UK. Every 10 seconds, they receive a call of suffering people and other young people. Comrades, ladies and gentlemen, men and women of honor, I want to thank you once again for being with us here, because you mean a lot, but also to have this formal communication that while we thought we'd have Professor Kanyeihamba, as you understand life, he literally wasn't as well, but his speech is going to be with us virtually. One of the reasons for which personally I'm here and also to encourage you is to preach the acts of kindness. I have for so long talked to colleagues telling them that the mushrooming churches, pastors, reverends, and mosques and the rest don't represent godliness, but rather the acts of kindness do. We're expecting the Deputy Chief Justice here. I would perhaps share with him that so many courts of judicature and so many advocates do not represent justice until you have fair, free, expeditious, and speedy hearing. That's what you would call justice. but I am glad that he will also get this message. By the way, so much traffic jam in our Kampala roads does not represent development. It could be as a result of potholes. So many administrative units don't represent representation and service delivery. It is until you have an executed acts of kindness. As I close, I have a small gift for all of us in this room, and there is a reason. I have flowers, and they are white roses for each one of the people that are in this room. The reason for that gift is to share with you that all of us are like flowers. We don't live here forever. Beneath our skin are bacteria that make us rot. So literally, we rot. We get disposed of like flowers. What is very key though is the seed that you leave behind before you leave this world. A reason for which we have this theme, leaving a forever legacy. May I have my colleagues share at least a flower as a symbol of peace, truth, justice. Because as Professor Kanyeihamba wrote in one of his books as a book title, in the name of God, truth, and justice. That flower for us means a lot. To represent truth, transparency, justice, and fairness. But most importantly, acts of kindness. I beg to submit and wish you a nice stay for the minutes we shall be here, and ensuring that we embrace Professor Kanyeihamba's dream of seeing a very fair, just, and free society. May God bless one and bless all.
Thank you very much, Norman. As we are telling us that we're here to launch the Kanyeihamba Foundation, Living a Forever Legacy, this 21st day of June 2024. And if you look at this, the values, I was saying Kanyeihamba Foundation, first of all, there's national conscience. I mean, we need to have a conscience. That's the motto here. Our motto is national conscience. Our vision, creating meaningful engagements on social transformation. Not just talking about it, but meaningful engagements. And our mission, transforming societies through promoting, preserving, and instituting values of truth, transparency, justice, and accountability. And that is the Professor G.W. Kanyeihamba Foundation that we are here to launch today at the Imperial Royal Hotel. My panel before you, Dr. Miriam Matembe. A hand clap for her, please. My second panelist is Honorable Dr. Keddi Stephen. A warm hand clap there. Allow me to also introduce Dr. Frank Nawiso, a man I first met in 1986 as a little boy at Namilyango College. He was coming to lecture to us. By then he was on a certain side, which shall discuss at coffee time. But also another man who spoke to us at Namilyango was General Masiko. We're happy to have you here, sir. I was a little boy by then, but they have endured up this time. For congratulations, you guys have been awesome all this time. We're happy to have you here. Allow me also now to invite you to just turn to your screens as my technical team gives us a brief address from the daughter of the good professor, Madam or Ms. Sarah Kanyeihamba. Technical team, are we good to go?
My father has held many important roles, not just in Uganda, but throughout his life, wherever he has lived. People who don't know him are unaware that my father has strong family values. However, he put these aside to help his country build stable foundations from the rubble and devastation of many years of civil war. He sacrificed seeing firsthand his children and grandchildren grow up and flourish. However, wherever he was, he kept those family ties. His many, many awards confirm what we already know. He is an exceptional man who worked and strived to reach, for many, what seemed to be unachievable goals. He is a man who lives by his own truth and the path the Lord has set him on. The Kanyeihamba Foundation is his legacy to the future. He, like many others, understood that education was the key to success in everything. Also, that education doesn't stop when you finish school or university. We continue to learn even in old age. My father never forgot his humble background or the village and family that he came from in Kigezi. Hard work and toil are the key to creating discipline, innovation, and the connection to the wider world. At Namirembe Cathedral, to celebrate my father's life and his achievements, it was a continuation of a journey that will live beyond the life of my father. Kanyeihamba Forest, which was planted at his home in Buziga and memorialised by his family on that day, my father considers friends, who've also been alongside him in his life's journey, to be family. That is why they were also in the photograph. To witness the beginnings of Kanyeihamba Forest and to celebrate the life of my father and his achievements. The foundations and legacy of the Kanyeihamba Forest are forever linked to the Kanyeihamba Foundation. He wanted his family to be at the beginning of the journey of Kanyeihamba Forest and be that bridge between the physical foundations of Kanyeihamba Foundation and the foundations of the spirit of the foundation. This is that education is for all and should be available to all, not just now but for generations to come. The trees of Kanyeihamba Forest are a symbol of that continuation for generations. Please give your support to the Kanyeihamba Foundation for the future generations of Ugandans who need help and support in relation to tuition, but also support in the form of advice.
Of the good professor. And from what she's saying, you know, as Ugandans, we can choose to live. You know, I remember when I lost my elder sister 2 years ago, people came home, and people come to funerals sometimes, not just to mourn, but also to find out what you have. So they said, we've heard that this woman did a lot of things. Where are the buildings that she built? Now, my younger brother said, my sister did not build buildings. She built people. That is her legacy. Professor Kanyeihamba has also been busy building people. I want to invite a young lady to share with us in just 1 minute what the professor means to her and what this day means to her. Aja Tabitha, come on, just share with us briefly what the good professor has done. And we move forward to Dr. Miriam Matembe.
Hello, everyone. I hope, thank you, Honorable. I hope you're doing well. I would like to recognize everyone who is here. My name is Aja Tabitha. I'm from South Sudan. I'm a student at Kampala International University who is waiting to graduate. I remember I met Professor in 2021 when he was launching his book. I'd wanted to come, but then I didn't have the money. So good enough, Professor PLO came with me. So when I attended the launch, I was inspired. And then after the launch, I walked to him and said, Professor, you really encouraged me, and I would like you to have a look at my book. He said, okay, you bring the manuscript home. Let me go through it and see. Ladies and gentlemen, when he went through it, he gave a lot of criticism about it. Sometimes I went back home almost crying because, you know, he's a man of high standards. But he kept telling me, go and change this, go and work on this, do this. And at the end of the day, everything was well. I made the corrections he told me to do. And after the corrections, he told me, look, Tabitha, I'm a parent, and since your mother lives in the refugee camp, I would be a proud father to have a child who has published a book at your age. So I'm going to call Michael, who does the publishing of my books, and he's going to publish it for you. And yes, and he gave Michael a check. That was my first time to see someone writing a check for me. Yes, and the book was published. So Professor has been a father to me. He has been a great man. And I would like to say that I'm glad to God that Uganda has raised me to who I am today. Okay. I have spent about 20 years, I guess, in this country. And I'm so glad that I have grown up here and I have met great people that have impacted my life. Thank you.
Great.
So this is, okay, this is the book. Some copies are at the table. It's just at 50K. But if you're a great man or a great woman, you can go for more than that.
Okay, thank you very much. The book is here, The Woman of Kush, My Country in War and Peace. If you've been to Sudan or you've heard about Sudan and South Sudan, then I suspect you just might know the context in which this story, this book has been written. Congratulations, Tabitha, and may God bless you, and best wishes in your endeavors. A hand clap there for Tabitha and for the professor. Allow me at this moment to, again with humility, to invite forward a woman that we all deeply love. By the make no mistake about that, people really love this Dr. Miriam Matembe, but we also deeply respect her. Allow me therefore, Dr. Matembe, my time is bad, but I trust you to work within 5 minutes with humility. Our hands together, Dr. Matembe.
Praise the Lord. She says that all of you love me, and I want to say that it is by the grace of God. And as you know, I love young people. Young people and women are deep in my heart. My colleagues at the high table, I recognize you and thank you for coming. I know as I stand here, apart from Dr. Nawiso, I'm the oldest here. Isn't it? You are the only person who is older than me, I believe. The rest of these, I'm older. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy that I stand here to associate with you, to be part of you. And as you were standing and saying, we want to contest, we are the next members of parliament, I was desiring that I wish I could get time and have these young people who have all these aspirations, and we have a dialogue. And I think you should organize it one day, because the questions I will raise to you will make you go back and rethink, and then we get a direction on. That's what influence means. That's what legacy means. So I'm also seeking to leave a legacy through you. I don't know how many minutes I've spent already. But I stand here very happy for my, I don't know whether to call him my brother, but I call him my senior mentor, who mentored me in absence, not by in presence. Like many, I meet many women and men, and they tell me, you are our mentor, you are, but I've never seen you. They say, don't worry, you mentored us at a distance, like Professor Kanyeihamba did mentor me. I would say I'm one who was inspired by him. I see many lawyers here. You know, I'm an elder citizen, so I forget the title of that book. Constitutionalism in Uganda. What was it called? In Uganda. That book. So that means I got into contact with Professor. Those days virtual was not the word used, but I think it was virtual. Because I got his book 1973 at Makerere. Many of you will say, wow, yes, yes. That's why I call myself senior citizen. That's when I first read his book, and I was impressed by this book, and I never knew I would at one time meet this man. You know, when you are young, you think those people have gone beyond you and you cannot meet them. Little did I know that one day, by God's grace, the man I admired through his writing would come, and I would not only become my boss as the Minister for Constitutional Affairs, but at one stage he became my colleague, because we were together in the Constituent Assembly, and of course my colleague in Parliament, and my colleague. I just want to say that with Professor Kanyeihamba, I followed completely in his full footsteps, almost 100%. The only thing I missed out, I'm not a professor. But otherwise, the honorable doctor, that one I have. And can you imagine, that were the same university, the University of Warwick. I think he was lecturing there, and then I studied there, and then got the doctorate from Victoria University in Vancouver, and then we became honorables together, and our honorables were really honorable, not honoris. Like the honorable we see who are really honoris, but they bear the title. But for us, we stood for our integrity, for our honesty, and it was amazing. He fights for justice, fairness, and equality, and that's what I do for all my life. And when it comes to influence, when I saw young people here, I said, honestly, my big brother has had an influence. Because between you and him are very many years. But see the young people here still following Justice Kanyeihamba. It means that he has certainly fulfilled the scripture. You're about to take me off the scripture, which, you know, I love the Lord. I love the Lord, and by the way, down the road, Professor Kanyeihamba got born again. Did you know that? You don't know? Oh my God. Professor Kanyeihamba is a man of God. We pray, he used to come and we pray, we cry to the Lord for our nation. And Professor Kanyeihamba and I, what is at the heart of our hearts at this old age is, our country, Uganda. And we, at times we are very emotional about our country when we see you young people and we say, where is this country going? Because we had certainly believed that that time, the battle from the bush and the Kanyeihamba coming back and everybody coming back, we had thought that that is the end of misery and suffering the way we see right now. We had thought that is the introduction of full transformation, democratic governance in Uganda, and that never again would we go back into these things that we see. But that is what happened. So what hurts us here, we are saying, God, come and redeem Uganda. When are you redeeming Uganda? So there's a young man there who said we are the next generation. And I was asking, are you Isaac or Jacob? Because God is a God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I don't know who are the Jacobs. I don't know who are the Isaac, but me, I think I'm in the category of Abraham. Here we have Isaac and Jacob, but remember the lineage, you people, the corruption, the greed for materialism and wealth, which was not part of Kanyeihamba and I myself. If you come to my home, you will say, people bring parents, some children drive parents to my home and they say, no, you are lost. This cannot be honorable. The great honorable Miriam Matembe's home. They think I'm there in such great mansions. But praise the Lord, our mansions are in heaven. But what I want to see, that John chapter 15 verse 16 says, God was saying, I chose you and you did not choose me. I chose you and appointed you that you may bear fruits that would last. I want to thank God that Honorable Kanyeihamba, as she's still living, has bared fruits through us, through you, and I think the fruits will last. And so I want to congratulate him for the launch of this foundation, and I want you young people to rise up and embrace this foundation that will help you to promote these values, to really give you, if down the road, that this nation will be again reconstituted when your minds are transformed. We need transformation of your minds. You cannot transform something without having a transformation of your minds, that you have to wake up and say, no, honestly, Uganda has to reach a stage and say, no, enough is enough. We cannot continue to be like the children of Israel, moving around in the desert, It is time that you break camp and move forward. And so I want to congratulate you young people who are helping Professor with this foundation. I want to invite all good loving Ugandans who know that this man stood for justice, fairness, and integrity, and did a lot of work in this nation to rise up and support this foundation. Because you see, these Americans, these people, they live their legacy through such foundations like that. Because, for instance, me, I've been out of public life for the last 19 years. If it was not by the grace of God that gave me a passion to run with justice, fairness, and equality, even when I have no office, have no nothing, you wouldn't be knowing that I exist. So such kind of foundations will say, oh, so there was this man, and then you walk into his footsteps and do the right thing. And as we launch the foundation, I want you to impart the values of this foundation into your minds, into your hearts as young children, as young people, so that as you focus on leadership, know that leadership is not self-centered, is not self-driven. It is service, people. Be driven by people and service to that people, and not getting power for self-aggrandization. That is Kanyeihamba's principle. If you are here and you love him, please pick it, follow it. And me, I know, 2 or 3, when 2 or 3 pick it up, God will be in your midst, and we shall run. I want to hope that by the time this Uganda changes into a transformation that I believe in, I will still be here to praise the Lord with you. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
A warmer hand clap than that. Thank you very much, Honorable Dr. Miria Matembe. I mean, some people get to a point where you just mention their name and everybody nods, yeah, we know that one. You don't need to attach an office. But I think Dr. Miria Matembe is one of those. Thank you for being an inspiration, and I hope that people who are here get further inspired, both by the Professor Kanyeihamba, but also by his charges like Honorable Dr. Miria Matembe. Now we're going to hear from the good professor himself. We have not, our time is bad, but and as a matter of fact, we have a special message from the Chief of Defense Forces, which is going to be delivered, and he is in a hurry, the representative of the Chief of Defense Forces, but he has agreed that he will first listen to the speech of Professor Kanyeihamba, and then he will deliver the message from General Muhoozi, and then will be able to proceed to a meeting that he left in still proceeding, and he has to go back. So we understood that General Henry Masiko, and we shall excuse you shortly hereafter. Technical team, we move over to Professor G.W. Kanyeihamba speaking to us virtually. Not feeling very, very well, and but he felt able to give us that message, and hope that those who have ears will hear what the good professor is saying to this nation and to the whole wild world. Now, we had some monies being pushed in to the foundation in answer to this clarion call. We had initial deposits that have been made by the Buganda Kingdom. They sent 1 million shillings to the foundation. Hand clap there. We have Professor Gordon Wavamuno, a man we know very well, Spear Motors, 1 million that was sent. And then the Honorable General David Muhoozi, that's the not the CDF, but former CDF, then became State Minister. General David Muhoozi sent us 1 million shillings. But talking of Muhoozi, let us now go to the CDF, who has sent a representative, Brigadier General Henry Masiko. A warm hand clap as he comes to deliver the message from the Chief of Defense Forces. If I were you and the CDF has sent a representative, I would clap louder than that. General Masiko, we're happy to have you here. And with all respect, please proceed.
Thank you, my friend Tegure, the distinguished senior citizens who has been with me on the high table, and all of you who have come to grace the launch of the Kanyeihamba Foundation. Good morning, I hope. It's still morning? It's afternoon already? Good afternoon.
Just a few minutes.
I am here in a representative capacity. I come here with warm regards from General Kainerugaba Muhoozi, the Chief of Defense Forces of the Uganda People's Defense Forces, and the Special Presidential Advisor, Special Operations. He received a very candid and persuasive invitation from the organizers of this function. And I had a look at that invitation, and definitely he could not resist because it was accompanied with goodies. I think 7 books written by none other than the very person whose foundation we are witnessing being launched. So he, amidst his heavy schedule, he chose to send me to bring his contribution, because the letter was not to bring him to talk to you, but to make contribution. And they were saying generous contribution, but I don't know how generous you expected. But he has done that, and I am going to, in a while, hand it over. But I think he was deliberate in sending me because he, I think, anticipated that I have some association with the old professor, the good old professor. And I want to use just 1 minute to say I have good memories of who the professor is, because my old aging mother, who is at 89 now, saw the professor as a child. She often told me that Professor Kanyeihamba was indeed an epitome of humble life, humble beginning, that he used to trot to his school barefooted way back in the early 40s. And he had fond memories because he would every day pass by their home village. So whenever he would see him, whenever he would be recounting that he got married to a white person, she would say, "Oh, God is great. I could never believe that such a humble man would ever rise to be a great citizen of the nation." So that's what I can give to you through my mother, who happens to, by God's grace, to be still alive. Me now, as a young man like you, vibrant, I met him in 1979. He was one, I think, of the ministers of the short-lived government of Professor Yusuf Lule. He sent him with a special message to Kabale to prepare for a maiden tour by the president, post-Amin president. On that very day, when the professor was still listening to the preliminary remarks, somebody came and whispered to him. All of a sudden, we see things change. The rally came to the end. What had been whispered to him was that the president who had sent him to deliver a message has been removed. I will never forget, because whenever I would meet him later, I would recollect how the rally aborted, and the old professor looked this side, that side, I don't know whether he even found the vehicle that had brought him. So you are here with some some memories of what Honorable Miria is worried about, the journey of this country. This country has gone through turns and twists. The only difference between me and Honorable Miria is that I believe in arrival to Canaan. Indeed, as you are saying, we should avoid behaving like the children of Israel who became impatient, could not envisage that arrival to the promised land is not all roses. When these challenges come, which she appears to be very, very worried about, some of us know those are the pangs and pains of a new Uganda that is unfolding. Don't be worried. That's why those who became impatient never arrived in the promised land. Some of us are convinced. Everybody is entitled to your opinion. You can desert, but some of us are ready to arrive, and we know the time is going to come. I want now to do what has brought me. I am not allowed to be in terrible controversies, but I tell objective facts. There is no transformation which is ever a straight line. For us who know dialectical materialism, we know that it is actually when things seem to be very, very difficult that the opening arrives. All these are part of the world that is not heaven. It's only in heaven where you expect total paradise, no challenges, but as long as you are on earth, you must contend with the contradictions. You need to remain on the side of the right without surrendering. Now, my chief has congratulated you upon the foundation launch, and he has sent a modest contribution of 5 million to have the foundation continue. Thank you. And since I am from Chigezi, where the old man hails from, I will tell Norman to contact me. I will also mobilize 1 million and give to the foundation. Thank you very much. God bless you. Aluta continua.
Also, on behalf of the foundation, these 2 flowers, I think, would do us a service to represent peace and transparency and the rest. Thank you, sir.
So allow me, Ndugu Tegule, to run away. You know I never run away, but now I have an engagement which I cannot abscond from.
General, we say thank you very much to you and to the Chief of Defense Forces for your contributions. May God bless you and enable you as you go along. Please feel free to depart. To be continued. To be continued. Okay, so thank you very much, General Masiko. And I would like now to, like I said, I first saw General Masiko when he came to speak to us at Namilyango College. That was 1988. I think I was S5 at that time. And at that time, he was a lieutenant and was much, of course, much younger. And we were very much inspired by the discussion, by the talk that he gave to us in the college main hall. But there's somebody who came a couple of years before that to speak to us. That was in 1986 when they had just taken power. And he told us, you know, at that time he had a PhD. But, you know, he had this interesting humility. So he first gave us a list, a long list of academic, you know what I'm saying? Like a long list. And then he said, so I'm a Ugandan of average intelligence. And we all died that day. Allow me with humility to welcome Dr. Frank Nabwiso.
Ladies and gentlemen, first I have to disappoint my colleague, Dr. Miriam Matembe, by declaring that I'm a young person as a result of the removal of age limit from the Constitution. That's what I'm saying. The removal of age limit from the Constitution liberated me, so I'm young. And I would like to recognize my friend here, Major Matovu, David, with whom we're in Parliament. And you remember him? He was in Parliament. I will concentrate on a few things. First, I have come here to represent Busoga College, Mweri, where Professor Kanyeihamba was a student in 1956 to 58. He was in Wilson House, coincidentally, because his name is George Wilson Kanyeihamba. I was in the same house. I was the leader of prayer meetings in the house, and I'm confirming that right from that time I saw something unique in him, and that is fearing God. Busoga College Mwiri's motto is for God and our country. It was transformed by Obote into for God and my country. Mwiri's was our country. But you know that that motto has changed several times. It is now for God and my stomach or my family. I'm glad that I'm meeting young people like myself. One of the young people who have inspired me is Norman Tumuhimbise. Please stand up. I have his book here. It is called Liars and Accomplices. It contains people who are experts in telling lies in this country, or those who have PhDs in telling lies. And most of the names you have listed start with K-A, K-A, K-A. But in Uganda, Ka-A, Ka is something, Ka. So the book is here. I recommend this book. No, you are not there. I also know that you have written other books. And I want to say to you that it is possible for young people to write books. Please do so, because you have a lot to share with us. I have also come with a book written by somebody else. This is Honorable Kadaga. It says, the pathway to greatness. After reading it, I asked myself this question. Is it only politicians in this country whom we should regard as great people? Or it is possible, even for ordinary persons, peasants, to be considered great people? Who decides that so and so is great and this one is not? What criteria do you use? And when you have been declared a great person or declared yourself to be great? How do you sustain your greatness? Now, Kanyeihamba, I'm trying to point out this because I'm trying to give you the inside story of Kanyeihamba. He's not the one who declared himself a great Ugandan. He only wrote. And after we have acknowledged him to be a great person, he has not disappointed us. Recently, a professor at Chambogo University, who was in charge of promoting special needs education, decided to rape a girl at the age of 16. And moreover, he was found to be HIV positive. HIV positive professor of special education rapes a girl of 16 who is blind. The legacy of that person just dropped within no time. Young people who are here, including myself, we should ensure that our legacies remain in this country. Tumuimbisa has asked me a question, and let me answer it today. You are trying to find out, to write a book, asking ourselves, how did we come to where we are now for a country, which is worshipped in the whole world because of the martyrs who were killed? For a country which God gave so much, which was declared by Sir Winston Churchill as early as 1907 as the Pearl of Africa. How does that country come to where we are today? That is the question for you. Part of the answer to that question, it is in this book. We have been taken for a ride by liars and accomplices. The second one is here, where we have seen somebody saying that she's grateful, this is her dedication to her parents, colleagues, friends, workmates, teachers, and the family. But Kamuli voters are not mentioned here. And the Almighty is not mentioned. Because we are not in control of our own lives. It is Him who does that. The second person who has answered your question is the Kanyeihamba. In his books, he has told you in several books how Uganda has come to where it is now. And how do we get out of this predicament? Yes, we can cry to God, but the first point is, and my friend Major Matov here knows, we tried to change the name NRM to say not, from National Resistance Movement to something else, like National Reconstruction Movement. But somebody said, no, we must maintain. So the first point is for you to resist. Resist. Resist corruption, lies, and these people who pretend to be great persons. Resist them. I have personally resisted them. I don't accept. To me, a great person, the Bible explains that in Matthew chapter 18, verse 1. The disciples asked Jesus Christ, who will be great in heaven? How is the protocol they arranged? And he said, if you want to be great, first of all, behave like this small child. Obwetowaze. Okwetowaza. Yeah. Humility is a starting point towards greatness. When some of us have gone away, and you are in charge of this country, maybe you'll build a house of fame. Not these fellows who are called heroes. On the 9th June, they are paraded, they usually go down in large numbers. Those are not Uganda's heroes. I believe you'll build a house of fame, and you will see that the most famous people in this country have been humble. The only part I can play in this game is to be volunteer number one. And continue to spread the Kanyeihamba-ism, if there is that philosophy, beyond Busoga College, Mwiri, and to other places. May God bless you. I'll just sing one verse, allow me. There is a hymn I love, which we used to sing at Mwiri. Nino mukwano gwangeye Yahweh bwamanyi gonna gegali tusaye uwe sitya balabe bange ebyegulu mbirengede bimya sanyonge feza kale nkole fube nwane ye alintendereza nkole mfube nwane. It is him. Thank you very much.
A warmer hand clap than that for Dr. Frank Nabweso. The young man. No age limits in this country. Okay, the removal of age limits has brought all kinds of stories and jokes in this country, and this may be one of the finest among them all. That you no longer have to consider your age because we don't have no age limits in this country. You know what I'm saying? When he was talking, I saw our newest guest on pull out a yellow book, you know what I'm saying, a yellow book, and he was making notes. And I was wondering, what is on his mind? Come and talk to us, Major. Come and talk to us about one, being here, but also I would like to hear your thoughts on what Dr. Frank Nabweso was saying. And then you can also have just chat with us briefly about today's launch of the Kanyeihamba Foundation. Major Wichpola from the NRM, give me a warmer hand clap than that.
Thank you so much, Dempsey. I'm not so, I came late, so I can't follow the protocol well, but I realize the doctor was just spoken, Honorable Dr. Matembe, my colleague up there, Dr. Stephen, invited guests, colleagues. My name is Major Retired Awich Paula. I'm a lawyer, I'm an advocate, practicing lawyer. I'm a retired major, but I'm currently serving as the director for external affairs in the mighty NRM. Yes, I came here to join colleagues in this launch because of the special nature of this citizen called Professor Kanyeihamba. If Uganda was a house constructed of bricks, I am sure Professor Kanyeihamba's bricks that he brought on board for the construction of that house can be quantifiable. You can go and look at that house called Uganda, and you will really know that from these bricks to this side, and which brought it up, possibly up to rim level, you will see that this is Professor Kanyeihamba's bricks. And therefore, all of us are expected to act in good faith and put on bricks in that house called Uganda. Now, I heard the doctor talk about the school days in their school, and therefore I would also want to bring my introduction to that element, because I went to a school which links me greatly to Honorable Miriam Matembe. I went to Ntare School, and fortunately or unfortunately, many of you don't know Matembe. You only know Miria. But there's somebody called Nekemia Matembe, who is an old boy of Ntare School. We found his legacy there. A chemist. So Nekemia, you people only know the wife Miria, but there's some great man called Nekemia Matembe, the husband. He went to Ntare School. I also went to school together with the children of Nekemia and Miria. One was in my class. Yes, I was older than them, though. Godwin, the one in London now. I was slightly older than them by some years, because we had had dead years in NRA fighting. We are part of the Army Kadogos. So by the time we resumed school, we are slightly older than our friends. But we are with them. Me by senior 1, I was second lieutenant. Senior 5, when I was with your son, I was a lieutenant. I became a captain in Makere Law School. So you can see I have so many connections with Miria through school. But I just like to assure Dr. Kibedi that like you had those attributes in Mwire, we had them in Ntare. And I can say, I think even the older ones, the Nekemia, President Museveni, and the Kasaija, they also had such good attributes from the school. Now, about Professor Kanyeihamba, I think we can say so much. But one thing I know is he was brutally honest. One time we were in KIU for a graduation function. And I used to attend I was just posing for Honorable Mao to settle, to greet his colleagues. I was talking about the honesty of Professor Kanyeihamba. I used to be invited to attend graduations in KIU, and he was the chancellor. So in a year before the function, he had said that because Basaja Balaba works, so he shouldn't be called Basaja Balaba, meaning the men just see. It should be called Basaja Bakwala. Now the next year, Professor Kabwejere used the same term, that should be the case. But Kanyeihamba brutally shot up and said, you man, you should always give credit where it is due. I'm the one who coined that, so you always quote me
quote me that Professor Kanyeihamba said, you just come up, don't say as if it is yours. So he cut Professor Kabwejere there, and then he said, I'm the one who coined that. So when you are quoting it, please cite me that as said by Professor Kanyeihamba. And therefore, I also have no doubt that in the time that Professor Kanyeihamba served with President Museveni, including as Attorney General, I believe at that time, Uganda had one of the best legal advice from an Attorney General. You have seen that debates have been raging back and forth whether some Attorney Generals give genuinely objective legal advice. I think a point in contention was when an Attorney General advised in the case during the nomination of Kizza Besigye, whether or not it was because he was detained, whether he could be nominated. And the legal opinion was subject to a lot of public debate. But I believe that in the days when Kanyeihamba was Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs or Attorney General, he believed, I wish I could be privy and do some research on the pieces of legal advice, because some legal advice from Attorney General must be painfully honest. And therefore I call upon the youth that can we try, even if by some little degree, to attain that uprightness, that degree of honesty. Because it is only through that degree of honesty that at the end of the day, you'll be counted to see how many bricks you have put in the construction of that house, Uganda. Personally, I hope I will try. I thank you.
Major Awich Paula from the NRM Direct, and he said the mighty NRM. And I watched him look at Dr. Matembe to see her reaction, and Dr. Matembe didn't seem to react, which also is also a reaction, but we shall discuss that over coffee. I was waiting to see what she would say. But as he was speaking, of course, then for me, I still call him my head prefect, because he was our head prefect at Namilengo College. A warm hand clap for Honorable Norbert Mao. Honorable Norbert, you found us just basically about 2/3 done with the program. We had opening remarks from Norman Tumuhimbise, who is the architect of our being here today. We had remarks from Madame Kanyeihamba, that's Sarah Kanyeihamba, the daughter to the professor. We had remarks from the professor himself. We had a testimony here from a young lady from South Sudan whose life was transformed by professor's initiative. We had remarks from your immediate neighbor, Dr. Miriam Matembe. We had remarks from Dr. Frank Nawiso. We've heard remarks from Major Awich Paula, who was speaking as you were coming in. And I would now like to go to your immediate neighbor to the left, Honorable Dr. Keddi Stephen. But first, I want to just technically, he came with a delegation, and the head of that delegation is the president of his foundation. And he said, I want to say something. Now, this young man is not an ordinary young man, because I remember I was his lawyer. Well, I still am his lawyer in the case where they jumped onto the floor of Parliament, and protested. That is the first demonstration on the floor of Parliament in Ugandan history, and the protesting corruption. And for their good efforts, they were jailed. So it says, no good deed goes unpunished. Yes, so for protesting against corruption, they were thrown into Luzira. And by some good or bad luck, it was that was just before the COVID lockdown. Now they spent the whole of the COVID lockdown in jail with just stand up for recognition. Mr. Mutasa Kafero and Engineer Dafala, they were together in that demonstration, and they were jailed for protesting against corruption. But allow me at this moment to welcome Mr. Mutasa Kafero to say hello to us, and then welcome Honorable Dr. Keddi Stephen. A warm hand clap for Mr. Mr. Mutasa Kafero as he takes the podium. Allow me, Mr. Mutasa Kafero, also to recognize the gentleman who said the economy of Uganda is Matia Kasaija. Okay, but he'll be coming to speak to us after Mr. Keddi is done. So, Honorable Kasaija, we're happy to see you. We're humbled. We're looking forward. I was putting him on pressure, say, where is the finance minister? He needs to be here. We're happy that you're here. And we are happy. We shall be hearing from you a little later. But first, Mr. Mutasa Kafero, Revolutionary People's Party, RPP, speaking to us, and then you will come, Dr. Stephen Keddi.
Ladies and gentlemen, great men and women in this hall today, I take the opportunity to speak before the dignitaries here present. My greatest mentor and the role model, the chief activist, Mama Dr. Honorable Miriam Matembe, I love you so much and I'm very humbled to be in your presence. The good friend, President Mao, they call him a minister, but I call him as President Mao. Because during our struggles on the streets of Kampala, we used to go to him for advices at the headquarters of the Democratic Party, and we address, Mr. President, sir, how can we go about this? And sir, Mr. President, I'm happy to be in your presence. My good CEO, the one and only greatest philanthropist of our time, Honorable Dr. Keddi Stephen Eric, I am very humbled, sir. Thank you for honoring this powerful invitation. And the man in whose memory we all live, the good doctor, Mr. Nabweso. One day, you know, the MC was telling us that to dakubamana, tubamane, naye kati ebyokutumana sebo ebyokutumana okusinziira ku bigambo bya Madam Honorable Dr. Miria, tugenda kozesa resistance tetujja kukkirizanga kutumaana bumaane. And my good major, sir, thank you very much for being a man of great detail. The way you have detailed the relationship between you and the Mama Honorable's family is very humbling. Thank you for loving the family, and I know you look up to her. Thank you very much, Afande Major. I take this opportunity also to send my greatest appreciation and recognition to our greatest Minister of Finance, Honorable Matia Kasaija. You're a great man. You know, every time the economy stabilizes, not too long ago, you remembered us that the economy is doing what? On a jet-like speed, and we are proud of you, sir. You're a great minister. Among all people who have held that ministry, you are, you know, a man who have lived as a great example to be remembered. My good friend, the Honorable Norman Tumuyimbese, I don't know how much I can thank you. You know, our MC and my good counsel, Mr. Tegule Gawaya, he talked about a case in Parliament. That case is an effort of young people to fight corruption in the courts of law, and of course to fight corruption on the streets of a nation. That is a way to defend our country as concerned citizens. But in that case, never forget that if it wasn't this great man, Mr. Norman Tumimse and Mr. Arnold Muhoozi, you know, the bail fee was completely not there. Not until we are there very stuck and we saw Mr. Norman Tumimse coming with 2 million cash, 20 pass out. So I will never forget, sir. You are a very great man. And I have seen you in many ways fighting for equality, for justice and the freedom of this country in different ways. Nobody can forget the Yellow Pig movement, of course. The Yellow Pig movement, you are the chief architect, and you are sending a message of combating corruption in this great nation. Thank you very much, Mr. Norman Tumuyimbise. My good mentor, Mr. Tony Buwande Anthony, a senior counsel. who is one of the greatest men in the ranks of this country, and my good friend Mayanja Robert is a great man. So, can you wave to people? You know, when it is my time, I use it to recognize people who have fundamentally contributed to the well-being of our community. And of course, my good honorable, Mr. Ainebiona. Ainebiona, please wave. My constituency in Riongo Masaka, Bokoto Midwest, is my next MP. I will not only vote for you, but I will fund you, sir. I'll fund your campaign. So, back to the point. The reason why we are here, you know, I am here in different capacities, but most of all, I am here as the president of Keddi Foundation, a mighty foundation that was founded by Honorable Dr. Keddi Stephen, the man you see. This is a foundation that is 1 year and 6 months. But when it comes to the legacy, it's one of the greatest foundations I have ever seen. The ANA and the index research has proved that in Africa, Keddi Foundation is the fastest growing non-government organization. Keddi Foundation is built on several cores, including education, health, and relief and disaster, and then in the area of water and sanitation. In the area of education in this very country, Keddi Foundation has transformed education by building new structures, buying academic books for different schools, paying school fees for little boys and girls in all different levels, primary, secondary, and yes, we have some at different universities in this country. We have some in different universities across this country. Keddi Foundation has come out so very strongly to impact the country, not only Uganda, even in other parts of the world, in East Africa here, to impact in the area of relief and disaster. The problems of Rwenzururu and the problems of Eastern Uganda in the Elgon region, Keddi Foundation has been so fundamental to stand with the people in misery and in disgrace. So this is a foundation that has contributed a lot towards the heart surgeries. More than 5 heart surgery people, they have moved from Uganda to India, and they have accessed and they have had a very successful operations because of the foundation. So today, here us gathering before the Kanyeihamba Foundation, I think we are in the good position. When it came to relief and disaster, Keddi Foundation donated $50 million to 2 countries in a war, the Middle East. Israel, $25 million, and the country of Palestine, $25 million. This money, plus buying tents. Palestine, we bought 50,000 tents for Palestine because Palestine has a lot of casualties. Together with our partners, we donated 20,000 tents for the nation of Israel, plus tonnages and tonnages of food to the war-ravaged people, rice and all other foodstuffs. So when we come here, when we heard that this foundation, Dr. Kanyeihamba has launched a foundation, we are all gladdened, we are like men. Because in the Keddi Foundation, we all believe that God's work here on earth must be entirely done by man. Every time you do what is right, you are not simply serving these individuals, you are serving their own creators in heaven. So we are here to launch a foundation and of course to contribute towards this mighty foundation. Now, Doctor, we have come with a big team. This foundation, not too long ago, because of the much dedication towards giving, one of the European universities called Humboldt realized that Keddi Foundation is becoming the model of philanthropy in the continent of Africa. Because we had a very big mentality, a very bad mentality in Africa, that all aid must come from the white man. And I thank God there's no white man today in the world, so I can talk as I want. These white men, yes, they give, but they must not make our brain lame. We also have something. Giving is not a sign that we have a lot. You heard Professor Kanyeihamba saying, we don't have a lot of money. In my mind, I was like, the professor believes the same way I do, the same way Honorable Dr. Keddi Stephen believe that giving out to the needy, you don't need to have money in surplus. Whatever you have, you can share with the neighbor. If we advance with that belief, there is no doubt that we can pull ourselves from different challenges that we are in. The problem is that the poor, they also have a problem of wrong mindset that the rich must give them. And yet, poverty is not lack of money. Poverty is just a mindset. If I have 20,000 shillings and I help somebody in need of 5,000 shillings, does that mean I am too rich? Of course not. Now, I want to take this very time to ask the staffs of Keddi Foundation to stand up for recognition and wave to the people. And please be wishful to clap for those mighty men. That's the team that work under our chief director, Honorable Keddi Stephen. He's a man in Uganda, alone in Uganda, who have spent almost 8.9 million US dollars in giving, and in a time that is less than 2 years, the foundation. So I have no doubt that we are going to contribute towards the steady growth of the Kanyeihamba Foundation. I have no doubt. And I have also a non-government organization apart from this, Mutasa Global. Mutasa Global will contribute 2 million shillings. And Mutasa Kafero will contribute 1 million shillings. Mutasa Kafero is me, and Mutasa Global is an organization. Then, on behalf of the contribution from the Keddi Foundation, the CEO himself, Doctor, will, I think, mention the pledge. So at this very time, I understand that I am in the presence of young, great, ambitious leaders, and the Honorable Media requested that we should make a dialogue such that she come and talk to us about leadership. Honorable Media, wherever you are not here, but I know you here. We are going to organize a dialogue as two organizations. One, Keddi Foundation. Two, Mutasa Global Initiative. Three, the alternative movement. We have the money. We can organize that towards the building of vibrant, great leaders in this country. Apart from the wrong mentality that our communities and the electorates have, we have a problem of poor leadership. The people who believe that it must be all about them. Me. It's me who can do this. Me who can do this. It's not only you. All people can do what you do if they are given a chance to learn how it is done. All people can do what you do. So that's why not long ago I decided that I am running for the presidency of this country in order to liberate it from all the stuck, from all the challenges that we have been into for the last almost 40 years ago. Ladies and gentlemen, when time comes, I request you never to shy away. Stand with me. I will stand against corruption, like the good Honorable I said. These days, I have seen Museveni starting. He's waking up now, shaking some people towards corruption. But before he did, we went to Parliament, of course, to tell those honorables that this is not a house where you are going to play games. We can come and re-own our country as young people and fight corruption and make sure the money that is being misallocated, being eaten by you, the money used to buy buildings in Nairobi, Kenya, in London, in the United States, we can use it to improve the welfare of our people, improve the health standards of our nation, to improve the education standards of our nation, to improve the roads that are full of pitfalls like any other country in this world. Ladies and gentlemen, and all of you young people who are trying to contest, Member of Parliament, yes, we love you, and we are going to support you, to sponsor you. Don't fear to stand. I know you have a problem with finances, but Madam Farida, you have told them about your ginger ambitions. We are going to finance you, and you must emerge as a winner. And all others, my honorable from Buganda University. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to come back home. Coming back home means calling my boss of the family. He's a great young man. who has donated, who have dedicated his 30% of income. Every money Keddi gets, my good honorable, every single money he make, he devoted himself. I think he made a vow to God that I will give 30% of my income to the less well-off, 30% to improve health, 30% to do whatever. I don't know, sir, how what percentage you're going to give to the Kanyeihamba, but I know there is a good percentage you're going to give. Right now, I take this humble time to welcome you, Dr. Keddi Stephen Eric Zuruba.
Obugalo, Obugalo.
Doctor, because of philanthropy. By the way, some people will ask, how do I benefit from giving? Because of giving, Humboldt University spotted him as one of the greatest influencers in the continent of Africa, and they awarded him with a honorary doctorate. That's why today we address him as a doctor. Thank you very much, sir. The microphone is yours. Talk to the people, and the greeting is to the President Mao. And at him, I will still with him.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much, Mr. President. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to take this opportunity to thank the organizing committee of Kanyeihamba Foundation for such a great work you're doing. I have a lot. Actually, I'd prepared my speech. I'd written my speech here, but I see it's useless to read it. But the theme of the day is leaving a legacy forever. What's the meaning of leaving a legacy? The meaning of leaving a legacy is giving something that will be valuable and treasured by those who survive after your death. I want you to ask your neighbor, after my death, what is my legacy? Just ask your neighbor. Honorable Minister, ask him. After my death, where is my legacy? It's a great question with a lot of meaning. Kanyeihamba Foundation, personally, I've never met him, but he's the man that I've seen, I've followed. He's the man that has inspired me. I remember during the Supreme Court, I think 2001, election ruling, I liked his verdict. I saw a man full of transparency, a man that loves his country. And furthermore, when I see is having Kanyeihamba Foundation, this is a man that has seen all. He has lived life. He has met influential people. He has seen money. By this time, he would be enjoying his retirement, eating all the money, enjoying the life. But this is the man, he said, I want to work for my death. After my death, I want to leave a legacy. Most of us, we are here. I've seen many Ugandans. We have a lot of money. Corruption is at peak. I've seen, of recent now, we've seen members of parliament stealing a lot of money. And some of them, they are buying buildings in London. Some of them, they are having towers, hotels like these ones, but they don't know that after their deaths, there's no legacy. What do we work for in this world? Because what you're fighting for, what you're piling, is not for you. The Bible says that the unrighteousness, they will pile all the wealth, and then those who are smart and the children, they will come and take your wealth. So I have a question for you. Would you love to pile the wealth for others, or would you love to leave a legacy? It's a hard question. Today I'm with questions. I'm sorry I started in I'm a bit emotional, but I'm a young man, as you can see me. I'm not in government. In fact, no one I know in government who is big. Honorable Minister of Finance, I follow you. I love you, by the way. You're such a vibrant minister. You're one of the best ministers. That every time when Museveni is appointing cabinet ministers, I pray that they leave you, and my prayer is always answered. But I don't have your contact. Yes. I don't have your contact. You don't know me. I don't know you. Yes. No one knows me. But I'm a simple young businessman. But before, I used to be a man who came from a poor background. I used to make stone quarries. I finished my senior 4. I entered the city. I started digging people's gardens. I cleaned toilets. But I had a vision. I said, God, bless me, make me somebody in the society. When you make me somebody in the society, I want also to change the society. And my entire life in serving humanity. Little man I get, I give back. That's why we have Keddi Foundation. Keddi Foundation is the only NGO, mark my word, I know there are government officials here. It's the only NGO who is pro-serving humanity or Ugandans without the intention of stealing. We are Keddi Foundation. We don't have a donor, but we are donors. I said I will never beg for whites. I will never, my NGO, I will never write a proposal to say I have 6 children, have children who are suffering ABCD. They sent me 10,000. I only use 1,000, and then the rest I buy cars. I said, God gave me a brain. I must get money, and I change the society. And what you've seen, apart from Israel and Palestine, where we gave 50 million US dollars, those are partners that came in. But for us, we also used over 800,000 US dollars. But the rest donors or partners passed us through us to give the Israel and Palestine. But the rest of the activities, individual, me, I'm the single sponsor. When I get money, I give everything back to the society. And the Keddi Foundation, we serve in the area of health. We have changed people's life. We've bought ambulances. We've been to all parts of Uganda, eastern, central, western, way in Tongamo, everywhere, Ruhama there, where Mama also comes from. And when I reached there, I saw those people, they don't suffer. They're also suffering. So I was there, we were there as a Keddi Foundation. Our next trip, we are going to North and West Nile. Mr. Norbert Maui should do welcome us. We want to change the lives of Ugandans because we believe that giving is a heart. It's not all about having money. Many Ugandans, you fight, you have a lot of money. Most people, like you've seen here in Ulviji, some people are behind it. I'm told they want to build a mall there. And you hurt people, you destroy their life. Yes, they have encroached in bad way, but find a way of handling them. Many people, especially here, Kanyeihamba, I know there are Chief Justice here, there is a representative in the judicial. We have a Minister of Justice here. Many Ugandans here, rich people, they are getting money to buy justice, to fake evictions. Why don't you use that money to change somebody's life? It's a question. Because what you're fighting for, you evict people, you put up a mall, but when you die, 5 years, you'll be no more. You have seen great people here. I'm sorry to mention someone. I'm sorry. We have seen like Izimwis. They used to be very powerful, but where are they? Their legacy is no more. Their name is not built. But imagine someone who Kanyeihamba somebody, when he dies, Kanyeihamba Foundation will remain. Why don't you also found up a foundation that will be remembered after your death? Are you fighting to leave a legacy, or you're fighting for wealth where you live and others come and eat? It's a question. So today we stand here to celebrate the life of Kanyeihamba and to thank him, especially we as Keddi Foundation, that thank you for forming up a foundation that is going to leave a legacy that is going to change the lives of Ugandans and others in the world. Keddi Foundation, we are here to stand with you and to support the works of the foundation, because foundation, it stands to serve humanity. Everyone is human. Someone who said, I think it's him who said that beneath our skins, there are bacteria that are waiting for us. As soon as you put in a coffin or geneza, you are now a candidate for rotting. But as you wrote down there, a legacy must remain. Your name, keep your name shining or talking about. That's why Keddi Foundation, we say we shall be the sponsor. As Mr. President said, I stood and I say, we are Ugandans. I want to be the first Ugandans to change a mindset that you can also be a donor, because Ugandans or Africans believe that donors are whites. All help comes from the government. The greatest gift that you can give to your government is also to change the life of a citizen. You don't need to beg everything government. Have every Saturday I have a live broadcast about mindset change. We should thank this government. Yes, I know the opposition is here. We talked about the end of 40 years. Yes, it's good. But remember that this government is the only government that has given us ability, the peace, for you to live peacefully and to make money and to change the life of somebody. So before it goes off, are you doing something? Me, I'm proud of, because it's this government that has given me the peace, the ability for me to be where I am, to sit with powerful people like Mama Miriam Matembe. I celebrate you. I follow you so much. Mr. President, Norbert Mau, you're my inspiration, President. I love you so much. And great people. So we should thank President Museveni. He has given us ability, because personally I've traveled all over the world. In Rwanda here, just buying a bicycle, you must be accounted. Where did you get money? But this is the government where you can get billions and billions as long as you're not touching his chair. You are not asked where the money is. So we should thank this government. It has done us well. Let's get up for our good government. So as Keddi Foundation, when you got this opportunity, we used it. I got the money. I have the money. I'm one of the youngest billionaires. And in 2 weeks, I'm going to meet Jeff Bezos, Rihanna. And after, I'm coming with them. We are launching Keddi Smart City in Butevo. That's one of the visions. When you read about me, in shortest time possible, I've done great things. But all is about this government. So me, I'm appreciative and I'm thankful of this government. I'm sorry for oppositions, but sometimes we have to speak the truth. That much as you abuse Museveni, you criticize it, we should thank it. That it's a free government, opportunities are there. It's all about your mindset. Some of you are looking for jobs, but God has given you the mind, the brain to do each and everything. So I don't want to go there. But purposely, the reason why we are here is to launch Kanyeihamba Foundation and fundraise. We as Keddi Foundation, we have touched the lives of people in the area of health, the area of water and sanitation, the area of education, the area of relief and disaster. And today, I stand here to say that we shall support Kanyeihamba Foundation with $5,000 as a contribution, as part of the foundation contribution. because they are serving humanity. Everyone is human. Tell your neighbor, I'm a human. Some of you, each time you make a mistake, either in a relationship or business, you say, but I'm a human. I'm a human. So are you a human? Do you practice what the meaning of a human? The meaning of a human is touching or changing somebody's life. You have 10,000. Get just 1,000. Some of you, you even go to the malls, you find the security guard is just yawning, but you have money you cannot even give. What kind of meaning? Mean. Yeah, stingy. Yes. You have money. You see, some of you is causing your death. You have money, you have bodyguards, they're hungry. Why not? You're not human. But at the end of the day, when you make a mistake, I'm a human. I'm a human. Are you really a human? If you're human, make a change like Kanyeihamba is doing today, like Keddi Foundation is doing today. So Keddi Foundation, we are doing great things. As Mama said, as I conclude, she talks about mentoring young leaders. Uganda, we need young leaders. Our president is soon leaving the stage. Like it or not, 10 years or 20 years, will have left the stage. But you're the next to make sure that this country go forward. And Keddi Foundation has also a leadership program that we've launched. And this program, we are mentoring younger leaders based on good governance and humanity. Because any leader who has a human heart will never steal money, will never be corrupt. And if he's corrupt, at least part of that money, will make sure that he changes somebody's life. So with that Keddi Foundation, we have young leaders. We don't mind which party you belong to, NRM, FDC, or whatever. So we have young leaders. So far here, I've moved with some of the young leaders I've moved with, allow them to, I introduce them to you, that are aspiring members of parliament, as LC1 chairperson, as LC5, and we welcome each and everyone to come to Keddi Foundation, and we are going to begin with seminars, and we shall invite our great leaders like Mama Matembe to come and talk to you and orient you about leadership. Because if you're taught good leadership, tomorrow you'll be the best leader. And this country, we need that Uganda can move forward. And Uganda can have people with humanity, people who serves and loves humanity, and people that will change people's lives, like our good Professor Kanyeihamba. So I have my aspiring members of parliament. They are part of Keddi Foundation, but they are leaders that we are trying to groom based on humanity and good governance. Allow me to introduce, yes, stand up, a honorable stand up. I have Jack South, Jack Central MP, Chegegwa, Happiness Fukamusima, is the IT. I have Ashraf Gaigala, going to take over passes in Namuganza in Bukono. He's a young man. Yes. I have Honorable Sulaiman Sevagala, the son of late Seya Sevagala. Kawempenos. He's there. I have Engineer Dafala Senjako, Kawempe South, is taking over Segirinya, and others. And I've seen young and aspiring members of parliament here we're introducing. Please, you all come to Keddi Foundation. I want to thank this opportunity to thank my good friend, Norman. Thank you for the opportunity given to us as Keddi Foundation. We support and we shall pledge to work with you as Kanyeihamba Foundation to make sure together we serve humanity. Thank you so much. God bless you. My name, I'm Honorable Dr. Keddi Stephen Eric Zulba. I'm also the incoming member of parliament, Butevo constituency, former Palisa district, but now Butevo district. For God and my country, God bless you.
Thank you, Honorable, and best wishes in your campaign. I hope that everything goes well for you and also for your team. And for those of you who are aspiring to run for whatever offices, best wishes to you all. I hope that everything goes well. The good thing, you have the finance minister in the room, so you can talk to him nicely, and maybe he might make your campaign go. Okay, but I'm also advised that he has to leave, so I'm going to invite him to greet the people, and also, just briefly, and also then I'll be inviting the Honorable Norbert Mao to greet the people and also close the function, and first of all, declare the foundation formally launched, and then he will bid us goodbye. But first, I wanted to, technical team, we have a message from Professor Kanyeihamba. It's just 2 minutes, and I thought that the Honorable Mao and the Honorable Finance Minister Kasaija would want to listen to what Professor was saying. It's just 2 minutes. Please, let's go there now, like they say in Luganda, now, kakati, so that we're able to hear from him, and then the Honorable Minister can take the floor. Norbert Mao, Minister of Justice, I want to, just before you take the floor, just brief you that we're here to launch the Kanyeihamba Foundation. Our values are here. Our motto is national conscience, which I hope that Ugandans can develop. And then our vision is to create meaningful engagements on social transformation. That is why we're here. And I'm glad you've heard from the old man himself, very passionate. He's not able to be with us here because he's not well. But that is his message to us, and I hope that you receive the message in good faith, and I hope that your participation here, but this is a man you've worked with, you know very well, and I hope that you'll understand and appreciate the spirit in which he has made this appeal. The Honorable Minister of Finance is a man I used to disturb a lot when I was still a talk show host. He's a man I would call sometimes a bit unfairly short notice, but he would say, yes, I'm going to come for that talk show. So I have a lot of respect for him. Honorable Minister of Finance, Honorable Kasaija, allow me with humility to invite you to take the floor, to say a few words as we launch what promises to be a history rewriting foundation. Our hands together for Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much. All of you in your Ebitinisa. You know the word Ebitinisa? I know all of everybody on this side except the one who has spoken last, but all those, I know them by name and by actions. Good afternoon. I would have come here with a written speech, but I was informed a little bit late, and I will be very brief. Honorable Kanyeihamba, I have worked with him on many tasks. The point that I saw in him is the consistency. He will not say this today and tomorrow he changes. That is the Kanyeihamba that I know. Two, I am glad to hear from some of you that you are aspiring to replace us. Very good. Me, I'm soon retiring. I'm soon retiring. I'm already 80 years. 80 years. Kidding? 80 years. I was born in 1944 on May the 5th. And I recently celebrated 80 years. My children made their fun.
What do you eat? I think we need to interrogate this. What does the Honorable eat?
Well, I can tell you. If you want to look like me, there are 4 things that you need to do. 1, stop worrying. Stop worrying. Worry. Stop. Sleep soundly. Plan your life. Yes, plan your life.
Someone is asking, is that possible in Uganda?
Why not? I am here, I am a Ugandan.
You're a minister.
I am minister.
Of finance.
Minister is no. Before I became a minister, I had already I started working in 1969. And I got a very beautiful job with the Shell BP. I was earning my 1,810 shillings. At that time, a car which I bought as a salesman was for 10,400 shillings. I have lived a good life, I can tell you that. The only period when things got wrong is when we went to war. When we went to war, I lived a very long life, first of all, and a very bad life in exile. In exile. It is terrible to be in exile. And I'm really emphasizing to the youth, never allow a situation that will force you to leave Uganda forcefully. You can go to your way, when you enjoy, you come back, and so forth. But to be in exile, when you know that you cannot step back in your country, people are dying, you cannot come to bury them, is a terrible thing. But that is a story that we can have time to teach you about it. You said, what do I do in order for me to look like the way I look? I told you, feeding. Feeding. Those of you who have got wives, please tell the wives to feed you very well. They will tell you, my food is a kalo, a bit of the next thing after the feeding. Secondly, is every year go for a medical examination thoroughly. Now don't complain and say we have no money. Money is there to help you. Don't you have a doctor who go to Murago? They will examine you. Thirdly, sleep. A minimum of 6 hours. Sleep. Yeah, I'm going to sleep. And lastly, never be over anxious. Do what you can, and what you cannot do, ask God to help you. That's all. That's why I'm looking like this at 80 years. But that is beside them. You are derivating. We have come to talk about Kanyeihamba. As I said, I have known Kanyeihamba for the last 40 years, I think. I told you he's a person who says what he means, and is a person who does not change on principles. That is the Kanyeihamba I have known. People can contest it, but I will tell you, if there was time, I will tell you the instances in which I saw him. And therefore, I take pride for being invited here
I did not know that he was indisposed. I wanted to see him personally, physically. But we pray the good Lord that he sustains him for another few years, because we need people of that type. You could hear how the way he was speaking. I think, is he already, who knows Kanyehamba's age? 85. So he beat me by 5 years. So that is the Kanyeihamba that I know of. Lastly, I am going to repeat this. I have been very impressed with you youth. You are looking forward to leadership. Please, you are most welcome. I would be the happiest to see some of you in the government when I'm retired, driving this country to prosperity. Have you heard? Leading this country to prosperity. God gave us a country, if you don't know, which is not easily found in other parts of the world. Yes. So, my advice, you the young people, never allow any disruption, any violence in checking government. In that way, the world will admire you. The world will come to help you to build the country. To build the country. So, with those words, I'm not going to say much. I have done other things. You are thinking, shoo. There is another one soon coming about corruption. I will reveal it one time, either in Parliament or somewhere. So, Mzee Kanyeihamba, I hope he is listening with these new technologies for us which we did not know. I appreciate you. I love you. Although recently we have not been in close touch, but definitely I will try as best as possible to come and see you and we chat on issues, particularly regarding the governance of Uganda. Now, I did not know that we had to come. I have come with, I mean that we are fundraising also. But when I go back to the ministry, I will beg some 10 million shillings. And give me the account. I can put it on the account, or the gentleman or gentlewoman whom I can send this money, so that the really Kanyeihamba's name is made immortal. Thank you very much, friends. I have listened to that young man. What's your name? I did not know you. Kenneth. Eh? Keddi. Which part of Uganda? Butembo. You are from Keddi. I have never heard that name. Will you excuse me? Be firm. Don't wave. If you are convinced, move. You will get potholes for sure. You will get setbacks. But once you are consistent, the whole world will understand you. So with those words, I beg that I leave because I have another assignment. And I look forward for if you could give us a report of what has transmitted here. I will be the happiest so that I can read it when I am settled. Thank you very much. So can I please take a leave? I don't know, Honorable
Mao, can you give me permission to take a leave because I've got to go somewhere, as you know? Looking for money. Yeah, so I can leave. Okay, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. A louder hand clap as he makes his exit. We have come to the... Mr. DJ, tafadhali. This mic can be better than this. I insist. We have got pledge cards that are going around, so if you'd like to make a pledge, please do so. And like we say, nobody is too big to need assistance, and nobody is too small to make a difference. Those are not my words. That was Bill Clinton about 25 years ago when he was still US president. No one is too small to make a difference. So we've got pledge cards. If you're in need of one, please make sure that you come to this desk and we shall be able to give you one. And you can make a contribution to rewriting history, and for some people, creating history. Allow me at this moment now, ladies and gentlemen, to, with humility, welcome our chief guest, who will be launching the foundation officially, who will be saying a few words about a man he knows very, very well, and with whom he has tangled over the years in various capacities. And then he will also not only declare the foundation launched, but also close the gathering and bid us goodbye. Our hands together for the Minister of Justice, Honorable Norbert Mao.
Okay. They say yadde yadde. The Honorable Dr. Miriam Matembe and the Honorable Dr. Frank Nabuiso and Dr. Keddi and Major Awich, distinguished guests. These days I get invited to events in my own capacity, but somehow circumstances conspire and I end up being delegated by whoever had been invited as guest of honor. I don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. I was going to come here in my own capacity, having been invited by the Kanyeihamba Foundation. But then last night, the Prime Minister called me and told me that she had apologized, that she could not make it because she had been given another assignment by the President. So now I'm here. I'm now here in the shoes of the Right Honorable Prime Minister. She did not give me a speech to come and deliver. So in the minutes that I'm going to be here, let me say what this occasion, in my opinion, is about. It's about combating apathy and indifference. There are many times that things happen and you think they don't concern you. Many times people like to be in comfort zones. So, those of you who are in this room, one day when we are talking about Professor Kanyeihamba, even in his absence, because that happens to all of us anyway, sooner or later, you'll thank God that you were in this room. And I want you to remember this day that the foundation has been launched. It's called awareness. Many people live like zombies. They're actually not aware of what is happening around them. For instance, if I asked you, what was the color of the Minister of Finance tie? Did you observe it? Now, that is what distinguishes people like Professor Kanyeihamba and others. They are fully aware of what is happening, they are thinking about it, and they are engaging with it. And that is why a certain philosopher said, some people die, but they die before they have lived. There is no one who has been more alive than Professor Kanyeihamba. So, this occasion here is about engaging with you so that you make the transition from being merely concerned to being involved in whatever is going on. And it is possible to be involved in your own way. Some of you are waiting for the electorate to first make you an MP before you do anything. Whether that day comes or not, you cannot wait. I cannot say I'll wait until I'm president of Uganda to do something. I have that ambition and aspiration, but I cannot fold my hands and say, when it pleases the people to vote me as president of Uganda, then I'll do something. Do whatever you can with whatever you have, wherever you are right now. That really is the inspirational message of Professor Kanyeihamba. So, it is very pleasing to see that perhaps it is myself, Dr. Nabwiso, and Dr. Matembe, and perhaps Awich Paula, and maybe my OB, Gawaya Tegule, who have raised the average age in this room. Otherwise, if we left, the average age would drop drastically. Nevertheless, the average age is still in the 30s at most, which is a good thing. So those of you who are here, I think have already made the transition to become involved, not just to be concerned. The passion of Professor Kanyeihamba is and has always been to awaken the youth by instilling in them a new consciousness. What do I mean by a new consciousness? You know, there were those who were born as slaves. But through the activism of those who desired freedom and emancipation of slaves, they became aware that actually they were born free. They were only enslaved. That is a new awareness. If someone came to you today and told you, I don't know who is the richest person in Africa, Dangote, assuming they told you that, by the way, we have carried out research and we have found that actually you are Dangote's child, even the way you walk would change instantly. They say, yes, when he was a young man, he met with the person you call your mother, and you are actually a Dangote. I think from that moment you will have a new consciousness, an awareness of who you are. Professor Kanyeihamba is not coming to tell you that you are the son or daughter of a billionaire. He's simply coming to tell you something which is even more important, that you are a citizen, not a subject. He's telling you that those who are called honorables, president, their excellencies, are actually your servants. He has said that in so many words, but in my view, that is the summary of all his entire work. As a first-year student in the Faculty of Law, his book, the one we would call his magnum opus, his major work, Constitutional Law and Government in Uganda. So, as you leave this room today, ask yourself, what is Professor Kanyeihamba's cause? His cause is to awaken citizens. Now, in that awakening, as I always say, there are two types of sleeping people. There are those who are genuinely asleep, and then there are those who are pretending to be asleep. Those who are genuinely asleep can easily be woken. Now, those who are pretending to be asleep, they hear everything, they can feel everything. Even if you shake them, they will even assist you by shaking. If you move their hand, they will also help you and move it. They will never wake up. Now, the genuinely sleeping Ugandans are many, and they can wake up anytime. Now, those who are pretending to be asleep are few, but they are the most powerful. My class, the members of parliament, the ministers, high-ranking clergy, people in big business. And you, the young people, are telling us, can't you see that we are about to have an accident? It is a sharp corner, and moreover, on a slope. So Professor Kanyeihamba is speaking to us, telling us, wake up. Finally, you have got to know what are the things we admire about Professor Kanyeihamba. We admire his powerful intellect. He has a brain. No wonder the foundation logo is a brain. And I think whoever designed it wanted to send a message that you should nurture your brain, protect it, cultivate it. A lot of weeds are being planted in your brains, you young people. Seeds of blackjack, you know, this sere. So, Professor Kanyeihamba is struggling to empower you to cultivate your mind, remove, clean it up, fortify your mind. Don't let your mind be like a sponge. A sponge absorbs anything. If it is put in dirty water, it will absorb it. If it is put in clean water, it will absorb it. Let your brain be like a sieve. The only battle you have to fight is to what you call intellectual self-defense. There are people throwing all sorts of things at you. Some of them are total rubbish because you feel like you want to belong to a particular group. You must always feel the obligation to speak things that you have processed in your own mind. And it doesn't matter whether anybody agrees with it or not. I saw a young man here saying, "Are you still with us?" I assume that with us means, are you in the business of removing the dictator? I think we must remove the dictatorship rather than the dictator. Even if I became president today, with the kind of constitution we have, I am the alpha and omega in giving jobs. What sort of president will I be? It is okay, in every struggle you need a villain. Because a villain makes a struggle simple. So in Uganda, the struggle's mantra can be reduced in 3 letters. IMF. It's Museveni's fault. Even when you have a retake because you spend all your time drinking, it's Museveni's fault. Even if your children are not going to school, despite your salary, because you prefer to spend it on that side dish and at the bar, it's Museveni's fault. Or even sometime, for those who are more creative, so that you blame an entire tribe. It used to be Abacholi. They went. So how are we doing? It was Abakakwa. So how are we doing? So that is Professor Kanyeihamba. Use your mind to think for yourself. Even when everybody was saying, talking to Konyi is useless, he's a killer, he's cutting off people's lips, he's a rapist, I was speaking to him. Because I had concluded in my own mind that it was the right thing to do. And I have been proved right. Because the guns would have never been silenced without some of us who risked and were booed in Parliament. So don't be afraid to stand up for what you have concluded in your own mind. You may be like Galileo. The entire powerful Catholic Church was saying it is the sun which moves around the earth. And it was dogma and doctrine. So there are dogmas in this country. There are 2 sets of extreme dogmas. One, Muzei Tova Kumein, that is another dogma, which I oppose also, even though I'm a Minister of Justice. I oppose that dogma. You know that I took a proposal to Cabinet for electronic voting. We are still discussing it. It has very radical proposals, including presiding officers at polling stations wearing body cameras so that everything is done, changing the election and even making sure that even district local government elections are on the same day, using colored ballot papers and colored polling boxes so that you only have one desk, you get all the number of ballot papers needed. You don't need to have a whole assembly of presiding officer for presidency and then poll observers for presidency. Presiding officer for MP, polling observers for MP, and each one is issuing. The ballot papers can be issued at one desk. You go with all of them to the basin, tick, and even if you can't read and write, you can at least see colors. You say this is a blue box, a green box, yellow box, you put it there. And even when they are misplaced, they can always be reorganized. After all, it is the same. So we want you to stand up and make concrete proposals about where you want this country to go. That's the legacy of Professor Kanyeihamba. I want to state here, for those of you who are mistaken and think Professor Kanyeihamba is an enemy of the Uganda government or even of President Museveni, I'm here to tell you, you are thoroughly wrong. You are mistaken. The 2 of them are not what you call disjoint sets. They have an intersection. And we need political actors that have intersections. We need that. In the parliament, I was campaigning for multipartyism. Dr. Miriam Matembe was telling us, no, 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 no. We have had very bad experiences. We think you should go slow. But there are many other places where we agreed. We were founder members of the Parliamentary Prayer Breakfast. At a time when I was trying to start a family, I had some issues. She was the one who was counseling me, like a mother. Not in that way, not that Senga of yours. She was a Senga in terms of ethics. So, do we want a Uganda where political actors are disjoint sets? I can meet anybody. I can even meet a witch doctor. I can even have a meal with a witch doctor. I will not have a brain transplant. So you, the youth, avoid this, what we call regime change fundamentalism. The other day I heard even members of the UK House of Lords talking about regime change in Uganda. I was a bit disappointed that our government did not speak out and protest. Can you imagine if a debate is in the Parliament of Uganda and then a member stood up and said, Madam Speaker, the UK seems to be misunderstanding us. We think we should support the Labour Party. You know, how about Sir Kamya, the leader of the Labour Party in Parliament? We think Uganda should support him. I think the UK will look at us and say, what? You have the audacity to want to. Imagine if the Archbishop of Kampala Archdiocese, the Catholic Archbishop, or even the Archbishop of the Anglican Church said, we think we should support so-and-so to be Mufti. You know, I am shocked by how some people think. Even in political parties, you know, you have your own political party. But you are busy making another political party's business your business. I lead a party, as you know. But the people who comment most about DP don't hold a DP card. They have never contributed even 1 shilling to the DP. So, reclaim your brain first and foremost. I believe that is what Professor Kanyeihamba's legacy should be. Of course, you need courage. He's extremely courageous. He's not afraid of anyone. He says anything he wants. I was very pleased to see him when he came to State House to receive an award on the day we had a public lecture to honor the late Speaker Jacob Olanya. Some people thought he would not come, and he came. So some of you youth, you actually think these political leaders are enemies until you find them laughing and talking. Then you say, what? So I will never be one of those to incite people against another political leader. I will state what I disagree with. And I have major disagreements virtually with every political leader in Uganda on a few issues. But on the majority of issues, we should be in agreement as Uganda. Professor Kanyeihamba is urging you young people to study, study, and study. Study a subject and understand it. Don't just absorb what you read. You know, if tomorrow they said a born-again Christian like Dr. Matembe has been seen parked outside a witch doctor's shrine. No. I'm giving you an example of how debate takes place in Uganda. So, all of you young people, the button you know most is forward. you forward Beska cited at which doctor's shrine. Then the conversation will be, we didn't know Miriam Matembe was actually consulting, you know, these local oracles. Without first and foremost saying, is it true? Now, that is the difference between somebody who studies and examines an issue and somebody who... I can tell you, as somebody who has been a victim of social media fake news, the latest one I read yesterday that I had resigned as president of DP. I'm sure you have found it. You haven't yet seen it. Yes, I officially, according to Fake News Network, I have resigned. Now, you have 24 hours like anybody else. Somebody else is stealing your time by forcing you to spend your time on TikTok listening to rubbish. And you are young. According to the Bible, it says the days of man are numbered, and it is 70. In the Bible, a score is 20 years. So 3 times 20 is 60. And 10 plus 10, that's 70. So really what is guaranteed biblically is 70 years. And many people have gone beyond that. How many of you are below 35 here? Yeah, you are very many. So 35 is significant because it is the half of 70. So the day you 35, you are at half time. Now imagine yourself in a football match. And your opponent has scored goals against you in the first half. How will you feel in the second half? My message to you via Professor Kanyeihamba, play the first half well. We are celebrating him because by 35 he had his PhD, he had this, he had scored against life. If life has scored many goals against you, you'll be playing the second half with your tongue out. And you'll be sweating plasma, as they say. So, how are you playing your first half well? 4 things as an improvement on the one of the Minister of Finance. Your body, protect your body. Be fit. At the Ministry of Justice, we have a very small lift, but you find healthy looking young people queuing up to use that lift, which to take 4 people, you really have to squeeze. I always make a joke that it must have been designed for General Tafire only. Because surely if he stood right in the middle, there would be no room for anyone else. It means those young people are unfit. And we only have a 3rd floor. That's where I sit. I religiously use those stairs, going up, coming down, going up, and I'm okay. The young people cannot. So, the physical dimension of your life requires attention. To live to be 95, even when you're on a wheelchair, is okay because people must remember that he was a sportsman. Those who confronted him playing tennis at Kampala Club and squash, they know. Number 2, your mind. I've already said that. The mental dimension of your life. The 3rd dimension is the social dimension. Your relationships, your friends. Who are your friends? Are you people in touch with the people you met in the early life? I mean, the real friends. When I speak to Tegule, I know I'm speaking to a friend of Mao, not a friend of the minister. Because when you become a minister, you get many friends. But those are friends of the office. And you must be aware that they are friends of the office. Because when you are not in the office, that friendship flies away. And it is okay. So what sort of friendships are you cultivating? I have friends from the age of 12 and we still meet and talk. I encourage you to have that dimension of your life, the social dimension. The last dimension is the spiritual dimension. You are not a result of the Big Bang Theory, surely. You have those paintings there. Do you think if I got the tins of paint and I just threw them on the canvas, a painting will result? That's what Big Bang Theory is. Big Bang. And you know, we feel ourselves somehow like this. There's a creator. Wherever there's a creature, there's a creator. And we believe there's a creator called God. I think it is something that I hope Honorable Kasaija adopts it also as the fifth part of his menu. He talked about 4. I was surprised that he never talked about spirituality, prayer, belief in God. It is not good to wait until you are nearer, my God, to thee. Then you start remembering that that dimension exists. Because sooner or later, events happen which force you to value that dimension. Those of us who have survived death, we know what it is like. So, that is what this foundation is all about. In my last conversation with the Right Honorable Robin Anabanja, I told her that this is a fundraising and I would not accept to come here unless saying something about the bank account of the foundation. And she told me to announce that she will send 10 million shillings. And I owe a lot to Professor Kanyeihamba as a mentor, as his student also. And I'm also his successor in office. I'm the 18th Minister of Justice. I never forget that. To show that, you know, I'm not the last. It is always good to remember. And for you people, do you know that you are 1 out of 8 billion people? In case you are feeling too important. There are 8 billion of us, by the way. It's a good thing to always be aware of that. Doesn't diminish who you are, but makes you to realize that work on serving. Professor Kanyeihamba served this country with distinction. He was no stranger while in public life to controversy. And you all, I don't know how many of you have not been at the receiving end of his acidic tongue. One day he came to the ministry, I didn't know. He packed downstairs, sent for me, my secretary did not tell me. So the next thing I heard, the media was saying, Professor Kanyeihamba said he went to see me in the toilet. So I called him, I said, Professor, how did you know that I was in the toilet? I didn't know you were around. I would have come down to see you. He said, no. For us, Chiga, when you go to see somebody and they don't show up, then hiding in the toilet. So he said it is an idiomatic expression. It is a figure of speech. And we laughed about it. You have seen him. He has painted everybody's picture in words. I wish you would one day compile what he has had to say about everybody. Right from the president of Uganda down to the traffic police and so on, and to the security forces. So for that, I also wish to pledge 5 million shillings. I would have pledged more, but you know I can't pledge more than the Prime Minister. It cannot be at this occasion. I like those figures like 5, 10, but you know I'm a life member of the foundation, and I hope the board will tell us our obligations as life members. But as Norbert Mao, I'm going to put 5 million on the table. And I hope there will be, at the board's pleasure, annual dinners for fundraising, where we come and have this intellectual jostling as tributes to Professor Kanyeihamba. I'm sure I would love that, because he's no pushover. When he was in Parliament, you could not push him. You really had to persuade him for him to abandon his views. So I want to appoint myself also as a fundraiser. So anybody who has ever stood for president knows how to raise money, because it costs a lot of money to run for president. You're having about 40 people moving with you for 4 months. They must eat, they must sleep. You're fueling about 10 cars. So surely you know how to access money. So I'm very good at fundraising. I may not have the money personally, but I know how to fundraise. And all of you who have ever wedded, you also know that you must fundraise for wedding. And those of you who are planning to wed. So I expect a heap of those pledge cards, so that I immediately go to the Attorney General and say, please, I go to the Deputy Attorney General, Solicitor General, everybody must contribute to this. And I believe I'll raise more money than all the money that has been pledged here today. And on Monday, there is the cabinet. I'll even mention to the President of Uganda that have been sent by the Kanyeihamba Foundation to ask you for your pledge. Because the cause has been put very precisely by Professor Kanyeihamba. He told us why we must give. Getting money is not easy. So all those who have given and who are planning to give, on behalf of the guest of honor, the Right Honorable Robin Anabanja, let me thank you most sincerely for dipping your hands in your pockets. The times are hard. So those of you who are contributing, I want to thank you most sincerely. It means that you really feel that this is a good cause. So I will be in touch with my friend Norman, and on Monday evening, please call me. I'm sure I will be giving you a very good report, because I'm going to talk to all the ministers, and even though I may not have enough of these pledge cards, but the others are going to, we needed to have ways of contributing, like bank accounts and things like that. It is these small contributions which make a big foundation, by the way. These pledges of ours of 5 million, 10 million, those are actually exceptions. The real thing that will move this foundation is a young graduate who says, every year I will give 50,000. That is actually what will be pivotal in this foundation. These ones of ours are outliers. That's not what we should aim at. We should go to, at every law dinner of every university, this man, and I know how Ugandans speak when you have now gone. You'll hear the speeches, and you'll feel like slapping people. They will speak what the Buganda call agagambo. Oh, what? People talk. Please, when I depart, I don't want such speeches. And you must know that Kanyeihamba is not, of the things he's proud of, I think the least is having been a political leader or a minister. That's actually at the bottom, incidentally. He's a bit like I think he's like our own Thomas Jefferson. Anybody knows Thomas Jefferson? You are not included in those two to answer. You are part of the examining board. You are part of UNEB. Thomas Jefferson was the third president of America. He drafted the Declaration of Independence, which starts with the words, "We hold these truths to be self-evident." In other words, not requiring proof. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal and they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men. So the goal of government is clear: to secure, not to unsecure, not to loosen those rights. So Professor Kanyeihamba is our very own Thomas Jefferson. He can express himself through speech, and he has a flaming pen which burns through to the heart of any thought that you can even imagine. And that is what we are celebrating here, and that is what this foundation is about. I also hope, Tegule, you and I should start another project. We have to talk to these people who charge highly for their rooms to allow us to come and have a book talk, series of book talks by the Kanyeihamba Foundation, discussing the books, because he has really, you know, today in Parliament they are doing blood donation. So Kanyeihamba has also donated his brain to us through his books. So Tegule, that's your mantle. The foundation has to find sponsors for that. So our duty is to make sure people understand that this is a good cause. Then people will give. We have companies donating all sorts of things. Comedy shows are being sponsored by corporate bodies. You find Nyege Nyege, you have lots of sponsors. Surely this one is better than all those things. So let us have a book talk. We can come up with the name of the scholars who think should be part of this discussion. Makubuya, this world, or Loka Onyango. We even have PLO Lumumba, these other people too. So that there are at least 5 major books that are worth discussing. And we come here together and talk about how the state was formed. Some of you don't know how Africa used to be ruled. There were no elections. It was the leader or the chief was somebody who people feared because of their power of witchcraft. So if a more powerful witch doctor emerged, then that one has to overthrow the other one without election. Because then if I'm a witch doctor and Tegule, God forbid, is also a witch doctor, and for the time being I'm the powerful one, and all of you are afraid of me, I look at you, you can't look at me straight in the eye. Say, this is the chief, you have to bow. Then Tegule emerges, and Muhoozi starts spreading a rumor that Mao Wagwamo, you no longer have power. Tegule is the man. So everybody starts now going to Tegule. Then all of a sudden I find that I'm now alone with my wives and children. I also now go to Tegule also and say, I now acknowledge. That's how leadership was being done in Africa. And all these are actually in Kanyeihamba books. You have to read it. He's a very, very interesting author. With those very, very many words, which went beyond my terms of reference, is there anything I'm supposed to do for the launch? I will only declare it. I wish to now declare the Kanyeihamba Foundation officially launched for God and my country.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Another hand clap is in order. There's two more things coming up. One is a group photo. So I will invite each of you to join the minister and the high table for that group photo. And then as we go out, there's some bites out there. So make sure you grab something and then just enjoy the fellowship. Make sure you make some new friends. We got books on those tables there. Look at them. Look at a few titles. Some on sale. Tabitha's book is on sale as well. And so that's the what is it? The kush what? Let me look at that again. The Woman of Kush, My Country in War and Peace, is also available at 50,000 or more if it pleases you. So please make sure that you get part of that. But in a special way, I want to say thank you very much to my panel. Thank you, Major Owich Paula. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, Dr. You know, he has had a PhD since most of you were born, and it's no big deal to him. Dr. Frank Nawiso. I met him in '86. I was 13 at that time, that just come to power, and he had a PhD. And for him, it was nothing. So I have a lot of respect for him. Thank you for making time to be with us. Dr. Keddi, I think I've been seeing you a lot on social media. I think you've been moving, you've been trending quite a bit. I'm happy to meet you. I want to say thank you for making time to be with us here. Thank you for your contribution. Honorable Mao, thank you very much. People were amazed that you were able to quote the declaration word for word. And I always tell guys, you know, some people, I think social media has a problem. Norbert was my HP, and in his year, I think both years, he was the best in literature in this country. The best in literature at O level and at A level. And the examiners told us that, you know, these guys, and I think his colleague was Dr. Noria, said these guys disorganized UNEB generally in literature. And the guys were saying, but you can't give somebody 33 out of 33. We must find a way to reduce it. That was the dilemma that they were having. So I see people trying to argue with Norbert Mao. I said, like, guys, have some respect. I don't think you fully understand Norbert Mao. I don't think many politicians in this country have the moral high ground. Not moral, but I mean, they have, I don't think they have the right to even, I don't think they're worthy to even carry his bag. This young man you're seeing here. So Norbert, you have my respect. You're my head prefect, but I'm also proud of you that you left a legacy at Namiliango. Every time they'll talk about literature, say, in the year of Norbert Mao, I think you left that record there. So people who talk, hey, Mao, say, guys, Mugende Mpola, these are first-class brains in this country. So have some respect. Amen? Amen. And of course, Dr. William Matembe, thank you so much. Thank you for honoring our invite here, and we look forward to engaging you. The Keddi Foundation promised to hold, as you suggested, you said you would like to talk to young people. And they said they are going to do those. Mr. Mutazakafero said he's going to spearhead with the Keddi Foundation those engagements, so they'll be inviting you to meet with them, so please make time for them. And the rest of the young people, when they call you, please go and listen. If people like this are going to talk to you, I think I want to be there and just say, I want to learn from the very best. People who have walked down the path, and they can tell you, say, the path you're treading, where the guys who beat the bushes away for you to pass. So thank you very much, my panel. May God bless you all. And we keep Professor Kanyeihamba in our thoughts as, you know, like I said, he's not feeling well. Keep him in your thoughts. But again, donate as much as you can. If for me, if I had 10,000, I would give 10,000. If I had 50,000, I'd give. I mean, no money is too small. So it means that if you're here and you want to make something to the foundation, don't say this is too small. Whatever it is, go on the record and say, when the foundation was beginning, I was one of the contributors. God bless you all. And how are the photographs coming up? Where are we standing? Can the panel stay where they are and then people stand here? I don't know. Is that okay? Well, I'm not an expert. The photographer should tell us how it's going to be done. Norman, how many people are participating in the photograph? How many people are participating?